Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play D&D Pretty Boys because apparently it's not fantasy unless everyone's hot. We have Clued back today
It's me.
from Down Under, only slightly sleep deprived and jet lagged and wow, expansioned out. Um, so yeah, a quick preamble. This is an original D&D campaign set in the critical role world of Exandria, taking place about 10 years after the events of CR1. So we're roughly 2 campaigns behind critical role now, and have messed up the world in ways that I'm sure don't translate, so none of the lore applies. The group are currently in the Savalirwood, or on the outskirts of it, attempting to find ways to defeat a former party member. I'm Dungeon Master Jamie, and joining me tonight are the Spice Boys. First of all, let me introduce Clued as currently unknown character, Rasha.
Hello.
Eski is unwell, as I said. Sai as Aku. Luke, who is currently missing from his camera, as Ascor. Oh no.
What's in your eye? Come back, you weirdo.
Luke, who I hope's okay.
He's on his pirate arc.
Erin is Hayden.
Hey guys, what's up?
And Hannah, aka Lady Cakes, aka Casadius.
Hello.
Cool. So, do we have any announcements?
No.
Okay.
No announcements.
I don't think so. It doesn't mean we don't have to.
No, none.
So, last session, Barnes has disappeared to go deal with a potential breakthrough with Vespin. The group returned to Imon and reported to Percy, met up with Casadius' parents, who may or may not have read a certain letter that means maybe some things are more clearer than they were before. But they continue to keep going with it. You resolved some stuff. However, Geb is still weak and recovering, and so is currently in the care of Rasha. However, upon telling the council, or some part of them, that you may have unleashed a god upon the material plane, Allura Visoran has gone to check in on Rasha. The rest of you made your way to the Kalashtar village to see Aku's tribe. You arrived. No one there was particularly pleased to see anyone. They all seemed fairly ragged, fairly downtrodden, and you were even partly attacked for the dagger that was hanging on Aku's belt. You on the advice of the villagers, decided to go sleep in a nearby cave. On waking up, it turned out it was the first time in a long time the village had had a good night's sleep. You were brought in by the lawmaster named Nima, who was standing in for the leader of the village, who bore a striking resemblance to Aku, upon which you learned a little bit of the history, a little bit of the bond to do with the Kalashtar and the Quarry spirits, the idea that someone long ago made a deal with Kaifon to bind his lineage and his people to Kaifon. However, that was resolved by the Quarry spirits agreeing to stand in the way of that for some time, and the eternal battle that exists between the Kalashtar, the Quarry, and the outer forces, as the tribe has dedicated just themselves to stopping those forces as penance. You discovered some possible instances of Aku's lineage, including some great scandal or to do with Aku's potential mother and getting pregnant, claimed to be by an outside source. However, many of you doubted that, especially when you went back to talk to Nima, and he turned out to be a rather unpleasant asshole, especially being disparaging about Aku's mother. And those of you with high perception and insights probably gained some understanding of what might have been going on there. You all left, and upon Zug's suggestion, are going to see the shrine, where apparently Aku's mother was found dead, and much of where Aku was raised, or at least grew up around the Savalirwood. D&D Boyband, you are just about to leave the village. You have been rejoined by everybody. Is there anything you'll be talking about on your long trip back down the mountain, given the events of the village? I throw it over to you.
So what I remember happening at the very end of the last session is Aku asked to have a moment alone with his supposed suspected father, and then came out the building, and Casadius handed him a handkerchief, perhaps, and mumbled a word to him saying nail beds. Now I'm wondering, did any of us observe this interaction between them?
Based on the rolls, which was, I think, perception rolls at the time, no.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, people would have seen like Aku just like take the handkerchief, just like dab under his eyes where he clearly was not crying, and hand it back to Casadius.
Hayden's gonna
Right.
give him a slightly weird look, but carry on because he didn't spot anything.
Okay, so you guys are making your way through the village to where Aku is presumably leading you to the shrine. Is there, again, not pressuring anything, but given the events so far, given what you've just been through, what would you be talking about to each other? Or if you feel it's appropriate, or would you all be walking in silence, kind of not sure what to say?
So, what did you guys chat about?
Well, I just left him the knife, told him that I didn't want it, and went my way.
Cool. Well, I guess they'll realize in like a day when we're out of here that all their nightmares are coming back and or sleepless nights or whatever it was. Because that knife ain't got anything to do with what's going on. So I'm pretty sure about.
Well, he didn't seem very interested in any of us, especially not me, so I have no reason to stay, whether that harms or helps them.
Honestly, he was a
Well,
bit of an
Aku,
asshole, so.
that's optimistic. If we look at the events that have unfolded, I'm worried it could be you that's the catalyst for the change here.
Well, as long as they don't hunt down Aku and try to kidnap him and hold him against his will in this village forevermore so everyone else can sleep. Not really our problem, is it?
They can try. I mean, what are they? At best, a malnourished group of weaklings. I don't think they'd be very successful.
DM, did we observe any? I believe we did observe some command of magic from the people's folk.
Yeah, there was a little bit of druidcraft.
So I'm
Nothing super powerful. Sorry.
So I'm leading people to where I remember, like, I think because of my background feature, I can remember the area, but given how long ago it was, I probably won't remember exactly where it was he spent most of his time, but
That's fine. This is coming down the mountain, like just the path still. So
Cool.
as you're about to get to the Savalirwood, which obviously is on the outskirts, if you guys remember, there was the spooky forest, which had the trees kind of bent in odd angles, kind of an odd grey color that didn't look entirely natural, but didn't look entirely dead either. It was unsettling. So as you're walking down, obviously you kind of gaze back and you see kind of children running after you. You see some of the villagers looking after you. Everyone seems, it does seem more vibrant. Certainly, people there don't know what's happened, but certainly they are. I mean, if they believe their curse is over, despite what you all know, there's certainly more life to the village as you leave it. So, making your way down, slowly but surely, down the path, kind of thinking about there. Do you all remember the reason you're going to the shrine?
Well, we found out that that's where Aku's mum was found, dead. So
Yeah.
Zug, in his in his wisdom, was like, "Hey, why don't we go check that out?" So we were like, "That's a good idea, Zug." Now we're going down there.
So, and you remember the story of what was found there?
Aku's mum's body?
Yes, but no details about how she died.
No.
Okay, cool. So
I mean, we
making your way down.
assume it's Aku's mother, like, just
Yes, we assume.
because the baby is found, like, right where a pregnant lady died. Anyway, sorry, DM, go on.
No. Making your way down. It is odd, as those of you with higher perception, Stadius probably first of all, hear a rather loud clinging and clanking walking back up the mountain towards you.
And do you guys hear that? That's weird, right?
What?
You hear two sets of footsteps.
Can we turn around and look? Where is this coming from?
Sorry, are coming up the mountain to meet you.
I would like to do a perception check.
And
Are
we're
we,
heading
like,
down.
expecting
kind of,
You're heading
company
down the
or
mountain,
what?
yes.
I mean, I sure hope not. Could be Ghost and one of his goonies.
Guys.
Erin, did you say you wanted to try and work out what that was?
Yeah. Does anyone else want to try? I rolled a 17.
Yep.
17. Did you roll Xadius, or did you?
I can
I'll take
roll
your
if I
passive
want.
if you want.
My passive is 21, but let's just roll. Why not? Let's roll.
in
It's
case.
perception.
Roll the dice of life.
No.
Okay. It seems as if it's two figures. One heavy tall, wearing some form of clinking plale, and the other one a lot lighter. Whatever they're wearing, not particularly heavy. And as you kind of guard yourself, you aren't sure why someone in armor will be walking up here, but as you round the corner, you see the fairly impressive, as you will remember, very patterned armor, amulet slightly shining of Rasha, the former party member, and also Allura Visoran carrying her white staff and robes of office, kind of looking. I don't know. I'll let Clue describe Rasha's face, but Allura looks suitably irritated in the way that only an incredibly important person who can't believe she has to deal with this shit again can look.
And I guess with Rasha, I guess seeing him in this forest, and now that he's had some rest after Operation Gabolith, Rasha looks remarkably at ease. It's the small things, maybe, like his bun is less tight. He just looks relaxed. His back is a little straighter, almost maybe a little easy smile plays on his lips, and you just get the sense that this is a guy that just feels good about stuff. He looks every inch, the saint of Forge and Fire, and he regards you with a warm, kind of just contented little wisdom as he looks at you guys and says, hello, it is me, Rasha, you know that. Percival said you were here looking for the Kalashtar, and he looks a bit nervous as he says this, and he turns to Aku and he says, I thought I would be a really shitty friend if I was not here for you, Aku. Not after you helped me with Geb, so it was important to me knowing that you are here that I came. If that's okay. I can leave, that's fine. I'm really powerful, so I can just teleport anyway. It's fine.
Aku, in complete contrast to Rasha, as Rasha comes forward and sees him for the first time since, they were with Geb, I think Aku looks very tired. Like, the atmosphere in the group, I imagine, is fairly tense, not necessarily between each other, but and I think that awkwardness that Rasha feels is kind of twofold now that, like, he's looking around, and I mean, Aku's, like, shoulders are slouched, like, he looks tired, like, maybe, like, he is processing. I appreciate that, Rasha, but honestly, I don't think there's much else. We're gonna go down to the forest to take a look, but we've got what we needed from the Kalashtar, and I don't intend on returning there anytime soon.
Well, that is really, really good. Is that... He kind of ponders if that is good. Have you been fighting aboleths or something again? You look, not... Is Ghost here, or...?
No, it's mostly good news. Ghost hasn't been here. We don't see any sign that he has been here. And the issues that the Kalashtar are facing have been going on for decades, if not hundreds of years, so... Yeah, in your words, I would say it's good. And he winces as he says that.
Right. I will be here if you need anything at this place you're going. He turns to Alora. Thank you for bringing me. It is all good now. You can go home. Can I say that? Was
You're
that rude?
dismissing me? I'm
Would you
sorry,
wa-
I think you've misunderstood this arrangement. I am bringing you to your friends so that somebody can let me know as soon as the entity around your neck poses a threat or not. I'm happy leaving you with others, but I didn't seem to, the council did not wish you to be alone.
Yeb will look after me it is fine if I am alone.
Yeb may well look after you. I'm sure I don't need to explain again the repercussions of a god of this side of the material plane.
Yeah,
Sure,
everything is good
he
with
is lovely,
gold.
and he is wonderful. He is all the best things. We don't know who he is.
And read some books or something and find out.
Rasha
He
will...
turns and smiles sweetly to the rest of you. He is your problem again. The minute that Geb can hold physical form, let me know. I have my wife, I'm cooking, my books. Get back to. All three things I would much rather. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Scowls at Rasha and starts walking away.
As they're walking away, Asgore just goes, "Impressive. I've never met anybody with such strong views on immigration."
She seemed really stressed about, I don't know, what is the problem? It is just a god, you know? And he kind of smiles as he said this. kind of puts his hand on the Geb gem in his chest and he's like, it's just a god, you know? I'm just carrying a god around, no big deal. It's just me. I'm just a saint, it's fine.
Would it be fair to say from observation that Rasha is perhaps not just looking more at peace of his life because of he has quite literally found God, but is there any element of the magical presence of something like a god that is sort of energizing him?
So it seems like it
Insight
comes...
check. Insight check.
Okay.
Insight check. Ooh.
Sorry, I just want to tell you all about my character.
Right, we've rolled ourselves. What's that? It's 15 plus what? 20, mate. Dirty 20.
Nice.
It's funny.
Rash is easy to read, right?
Yeah, Rash is pretty easy. Rash is a lot more confident. Rash is more self-assured. Rash is more powerful than the last time you saw him, possibly.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? It's like, is his skin looking like, oh, okay, someone's got a
No.
little glow up going on? Okay.
Rash is just the best version of himself.
Yeah, it seems like it comes from himself. Whatever the process of him, overcoming stuff on that journey himself meant for him and his, independence, etc. And the fact that, all of that happening, he just seems to have faith in his own presence in a way that he never particularly seemed to. And it's, reflected in just, the way he carries himself. Even, his hairstyle. He just seems more at ease with the world and his place in it.
Great. So that's what you get. As Allura leaves, you see there's she sees you walk her down as a crackle of energy as she teleports out of existence. Hayden.
I'm just awkwardly waving bye to her because she left before I could even say anything. But it's okay.
Oh no! If you wanted to catch her, that's fine. Sorry, I didn't realize.
It's fine.
Go.
I think it's funny that she just swanned off and Hayden was just there with his mouth open.
Certifiable had enough of this shit. So, reunited, but making your way down the mountain, get to the edge of the wood. And much of the first time you've been up here, and as you begin walking through it, this forest is disturbing. You all perhaps can't help but think what it would have been like as a young child growing up here, if it was indeed like that. I imagine there's more roleplay to resolve, which I'll let you go. You guys can talk until you get to the shrine or until you're satisfied with the roleplay. And I suppose to give it an idea, Aku, or I suppose Sai, what was it like for Aku growing up here? This is meta knowledge. You don't need to say this.
Okay, so Aku was... I don't know, this feels weird doing it out of like
Well, if you think Aku
character.
would do it in character, but I feel like not. So I suppose what would like
Yeah.
what environment are they walking through? Like what would have been part of Aku
So Aku
childhood?
like didn't ever witness the trees being like this, so it would have been like a very different environment. Having said that, like the forest is very quiet. Like there are noises of like kind of birds and animals, but it is like very quiet, and it's clear that people don't often walk through here. There is something about the forest that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Like it feels uncomfortable. It feels almost suffocating, but you're not sure whether that's the effect of the magic or the rot or whatever it is that has turned these trees, purple and decaying and rotting. But even without this magic, I think imagining a child growing up by themselves, you could kind of get the feeling that this person would not have had a normal childhood, and maybe Aku's lack of social skills and ability to communicate with people would be slightly more clear now that you see he spent a good chunk of his sort of childhood and young adult life in the forest. There will have also been another reason. I think when he was a child, obviously he communicated via the Kalashtar mind link, and I think if any people did walk through the forest, travelers or explorers, they probably would have been extremely frightened by the young child that popped out of the bush, spoke to them in their mind, and there may be some rumors that this forest is haunted by a spooky child around the time that he was there. So
Nice.
he did not get a chance to interact with many people.
So I guess like while we're observing this and all the trees are going past and we're kind of soaking in this atmosphere and getting a sense of where Aku grew up, Hayden's gonna turn to him and ask, so if your dad was that guy back in the village and your mom was murdered or sacrificed or something on this altar down here, is there like a village down here that you grew up in, or like who fed you?
No, I mean, I grew up in the forest. It was Lanharath that really took care of me. Honestly, Hayden, I don't have much memory, but there is enough food and shelter to be found in the forest.
Well, how old were you when your mom died? Do you remember her?
No, I don't know if I ever knew my mother. I mean, the assumption that the woman that died here being my mother is perhaps a stretch if I have no memory. I mean, but he looks really unsure. Like he's maybe trying to like come at it with a sense of yeah, everything is fine, because he just has no fucking clue. Like his memories aren't strong like from back when he was a child, but he also doesn't really seem sure of like what you're asking, because to him growing up like in the forest and finding food, whatever, is normal to him. So that was his experience.
Did you say your mother was ritually sacrificed? Did I?
Well, we don't know if that's exactly what happened. They said in the village that she sacrificed herself. They think that she killed herself to curse the village for casting her out. But my theory is that one of them murdered her. Sorry, Aku, maybe it's kind of crass to talk about in front of you.
Or, she did what she did, and then the village was cursed because she shouldn't have had to suffer for no reason. That's also a good theory.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if she did sacrifice herself, like valid, like props to her. But
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really sorry, Aku. That is a lot.
Yeah.
I think that whatever happened here was probably unfortunate, but like I said, I have no particular feelings towards my family, as I never knew them, so thank you though, Rasha. I do appreciate you coming here. And he slaps him pretty hard on his pauldrons, just like
Yeah, but
I'm glad to see you back after everything that's happened with Geb.
yeah, but you have a better family now, and I guess we are here in this stinky forest. I mean, it is nice it is a good forest. It's fine, but yeah, I'm glad to be back with you in this stinky forest.
Yeah, it's a stinky forest. It smells ever so slightly decay. It's unnerving. As you all trudge through, it's also cold. You all begin to shiver, despite the fact it's middle of the day. It was warm when you arrived, and you can't hear any wildlife. No birds, no wolves, no rustling of leaves. It's all completely still, and the sound of kind of crunching wood or just your footsteps and your heartbeats begin to pound in your heads. And it's like that for an hour, 2 hours, and Aku, even you, and you know this place. It didn't look like this, but you've been here. You grew up here. You know where you're going. Even there's a slight beginning of doubt that begins to creep in. Until slowly, very subtly at first, the trees change. They're a bit more green. There are some leaves that aren't on the floor and aren't entirely grey as well. And little by little, the forest comes alive. You see what might be a mouse scurrying away. You see a small bird in a nest above. It's almost as if this part of the forest isn't like the rest. Something is keeping this part of the forest safe or different or protected than what's happening outside. And the further you trudge in and the further Aku you become secure, the more you know where you're headed. And you all can imagine that at the center of this place, you're probably going to find the shrine, which you do. It's practically verdantly green. You can hear wildlife. You could be in any forest on any part of Exandria. It's an isolated heaven almost away from the rest of the Savalirwood. However, as you're walking here, it suddenly becomes apparent to Rasha and Xadius first. There's a figure walking directly behind Aku. An outline at first, which I'm going to say if you commented on, you can comment on now. There's an outline of a slightly taller, ever so slightly greeny gold figure following Aku.
Casadius will sort of catch up to where Aku is, and just a few steps behind, he's just going to try and put his hand through its head.
Yeah, your hand goes straight through.
He just wiggles his fingers.
You see the figure turns and stops to look at you as Aku keeps walking. And kind of cocks its head. And then, Aku, you hear... I think Casadius can see me.
Does Aku see Lanharath before Lanharath says that?
Yeah. Why am I... And then suddenly, Lanharath looks round and says, I'm out. We're separated again.
I mean, Aku like turns around and looks at Lanharath. It's
Yeah, so
been a
you
while since he's seen his physical form, right?
Yep.
Since
so
yeah.
after a little while, you see this figure stop. Casadius, you see the figure stop, and then a little bit later, you see Aku whip round and look at you. And yeah, you see the outline as well, not purely physical. A similar thing to everyone else. And with this kind of pause and everyone stopping and the fact that everyone's following Aku, I say at this point everybody turns around and you see Casadius's hand halfway through this figure's outline.
Is this normal or is this like new for you? Because this is weird. And he's still got his hand in its head, just wiggling his fingers to disperse the light of it.
Thaddeus, I would prefer if you didn't stick your hand through it. Wait, you can see Lanharath right now?
Wait,
If Lanharath is the glowing outline of a person, then yeah.
is that Lanharath?
Well, so I think that Hayden and some other people in the group might have. I think they've seen Lanharath before, like very.
Yeah, the full
we have,
dryad, the full form of Lanharath, yeah,
Yeah.
in his physical, like, dryad-y form. Wooden bark, glowing yellow eyes. But this is just an outline of a figure that now it's brought to your attention and pointed out. Yeah, it looks to be about the same height, about the same body shape.
Rasha is giving Lanharath evils and just goes, "Hello, Lanharath. How nice to see you."
Lanharath turns to you, but you can't hear him talk. And weirdly, nor can you, Aku. You know he is trying to talk, but you can't hear the words he's saying.
Can I reach out to him? Because I mean,
Yeah, you know, it's like you can talk to him and he can talk back. Yeah, absolutely.
What's wrong? I'm only talking to Lanharath.
Yeah.
What's wrong? What? I mean, you haven't
I'm not sure.
separated.
This is not my doing or on intent, and they can see me, but they can't hear me.
He looks to the group. I don't think he knows why you can see him, but not hear him either. This hasn't happened in a long time. I think perhaps if we are close to the Corey village and perhaps being in the Savalirwood has had an effect. I'm not sure.
Jamie, what exactly does Lanharath look like right now? Or...
At the moment, he's just a greeny gold light outline, very, like just the outline of a person, not even like the body.
Okay, is the outline similar to Aku's outline, or is it like a different?
Slightly taller.
Okay. Aku, what's going on? Are you able to communicate with him, or?
I mean, yeah, as normal. It's strange that I don't hear his thoughts as much now, like before when we were up in the village, but it's strange. We haven't separated since, well, before the clasp and Iman. I don't really know why this would happen.
Can like stuff force him out of you? Like, could it be like a magical effect on this area or something like that?
Casadius, as somebody who's not perhaps been privy to all of this, given where you've come from, you're pretty intelligent. You've learned about quarry spirits. Your head goes, "This is Aku's quarry spirit." Like,
yeah. This isn't too weird. This is fine. And he's gonna just politely just pull his hand out very slowly and just awkwardly pat the shoulder and just. Right. So, like, could this be like a magical barrier or effect or something that's kind of like forcing him out for some reason? Like, your people come to this shrine or used to before, right?
If I knew there was a way to remove Lanharath from my body, trust me, I would have done it years ago. There's nothing that I'm aware of.
This is an ambient exorcism to banish demons.
Oh,
He kind of narrows his eyes at Lanharath. Then I am so glad.
Hold on a second here. Like, I don't know if that's such a good idea. Separate Lanharath from Aku. Like,
Forest that has done it.
wait, sorry, what did you say?
It is the forest that has done it. The trees know best.
Could be the forest, I guess. Nature does weird shit sometimes. Kinda.
I mean, if this is happening, maybe we should, like, leave.
Maybe it's a connection to when you were without Yaku. This is your journey.
Can you say that again,
I
please?
said, Aki says, maybe, Lanharath says, maybe this is a time before we were connected. This is your journey.
Aku just turns around to the group and goes, "Yeah, he's talking in riddles again. I don't
Wait,
really."
a time before you connected. When you were, how old were you when you started hearing him?
Did the group hear Lanharath when he said that?
Sorry, not there, no.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Realize it's slightly cross paths. But do you guys continue walking? As you're
Yeah, I'll continue leading the group towards like.
Well, hold on.
Yep, so go
Are
on.
you sure this is a good idea? Like, what if you go further in and you get more separated and then, like, is that safe?
I don't know, Hayden. I've already told you I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. It could be the forest. Lanharath and I are extremely tethered together with our emotions. This could just be a result of what happened yesterday and earlier in the day. This is
Right.
we don't know. I mean, he's separated before and it's never harmed me as such. So
Okay. Sure. Okay, yeah, let's keep going then, I guess.
Castle's drop back and give Hayden a little pat on the back. He seems worried.
Hayden kind of shoots him a slightly distressed look.
It's weird, right?
It's so weird. What's going on?
Stick your hand in it. It's really weird.
No, I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, seriously, stick your hand in it. It tingles.
Oh, okay. Well, how much do you bet me?
20 gold.
Fuck. Come on. We've got so much money now. 20 gold's nothing.
My money doesn't belong to me, okay? It's in trust funds.
Okay, fair. Okay, 20 gold.
20.
Okay. I would like to sneakily try to stick my hand in the back of Lanharath.
Yeah. But as you've walked a little bit closer, this time Lanharath turns around and goes, Hayden's trying now. The rest of you hear the voice. Loud as if it was said, not in your heads. There's a slight echo further away from you here.
Sorry, Len. Sorry. We're good.
Oh,
Punch him.
you can hear me now.
Now we can. Were you trying to talk to us before?
Yes, I just was confused that Casadius could see me. And that I'm separate from Aku. We've been harmonious for some time. This is a change.
Yeah.
So
Aku
harmonious.
visibly rolls his eyes when Lanharath says harmonious. Like, he does not hide it.
Rasha probably like chuckles at that. So harmonious, sure.
More harmonious than being at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Well, can't deny that.
Weird speaking to both of you at the same time. Hi, I guess.
Hey, hello, Casadius. I'm not sure if we've been formally introduced. You see the figure kind of bow.
Hey, nice to meet you too. This is weird. Don't usually talk to spirits. Not really my alley. Hayden doesn't get the 20 gold I just promised him because, like, you
What?
saw him coming. He
No,
saw
come
you
on.
coming. No.
Look, he's literally a spirit. He's like made out of eyes. That's not fair. I'll fucking place a bet with you later.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll win. But sure.
No, you won't. I'll bet you won't win.
Isn't
Mr.
that the
Quarry
point-
Spirit,
Isn't
how-
that the point of a bet? Like you are betting that the other person won't win. Isn't that like really implicit in the? Is that how
Yes.
they work?
I don't know.
betting?
It's like a classic scam technique, no?
Or he just like long-eyed stares. I thought I understood the world for a little bit, but I
just gonna
spent like 5 minutes back with you guys, and I don't anymore. Ah,
Don't worry your pretty little head about it. Let's figure out
I'm still here.
why there's a spirit outside of Aku's body. Shouldn't it really be like in there, like really jammed in? You know.
and you said you're going to an important place to Aku and Sylvanas. Did you say that? The shrine? I mean, weird stuff happens around gods, I would know. Like, just trust in the process.
Well,
Aku, how much are you trusted in this process right now?
I trust Sylvanas with 100% of everything I have. Lanharath, not so much, but as we well know by this point, I can't be rid of him quite so easily.
And trees know best, like I said.
It's possible that I control.
Hold on, we can't hear you,
This is-
Jamie.
Jamie, you're in a
Oh,
tin
sorry.
can.
Okay, that's probably a selected the wrong mic. Yes, I did.
I was in a webcam.
Hello.
There we go, there we go.
Webcam mic's not
the
good.
quality is here.
It's possible that such a place we're going to is close to Aku's heart and was where he was before we bonded. Maybe this is a place separate from me,
Well,
and so I'm here and he's there.
well, hold on. Do you think you guys aren't going to permanently separate? Are you?
No, I can't imagine why.
I could only wish.
Yeah,
no.
wouldn't that be nice?
What? I don't think that's a good idea.
Why not?
I mean, Lanharath has helped us out a lot, and he's nice. So
Also, I believe our bond is currently the thing holding Kaifon back.
there's
I
that too.
appreciate-
That's the.
I appreciate
important thing.
the personal recommendation, Hayden, but
Yeah.
it's welcome. But I'd rather not have myself and all of you souls consumed by a purple eldritch being,
Yeah. That
as
would.
charming as Ghost once was.
Yeah, just Lanharath didn't feel so nice to me when he was condemning me to die using Aku's mouth to do it and sowing discord and misery, but that's, yeah, I'm glad he's helped you.
I miss so much.
Yeah.
Sure, I believe you once said you understood the decision, and I can't fault your bitterness. But like I said, I'd do it again,
Yeah,
as would you, in my situation.
just like you said, huh? And he kind of smiles a little bit and just shakes his head and just looks at Aku and just, it's almost a look of, I can't believe this guy.
Aku is very awkwardly like looking back and forwards. Like clearly, I mean, you guys know at this point there are some gaps in Aku's memory that he's still like piecing together. And he's like clearly not used to like such open interaction between like his other half and like the group. So he's looking pretty awkward right now.
I should just kind of shake his head and be like, it doesn't matter. Look, all is well, and like we can talk about it later if you like. If you are missing things.
Because the spirit seems to turn to Hayden and Cassadius. I'd appreciate no more intrusions upon what limited.
Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't
Presence
get
I
Hayden to
have.
keep his hands off you. I'm really sorry about There.
Sorry, I'll ask for permission next time.
Thank you. So, you guys walk on. Is there anyone else? Hayden.
Sorry.
Every time Hayden goes now, Casadius' tail will just slap his hand.
I didn't get to touch
As
him
you
last
walk-
time.
As you walk
There's no money in
along,
it now.
Lanharath's footsteps go from kind of being ethereal. His form becomes more light. It fills out until eventually you hear, every time he puts his foot down, a separate crunching of feet. His form has gained weight. And Aku, as you know, you can't be more than a couple of turns or a couple of steps from what you believe is the start of the shrine, or at least the beginning of its entrance. Lanharath is entirely formed. For those of you who remember, he's about 7'2", very yellow eyes, bark-like skin, with vines kind of curling around it. Not quite genderless, but not particularly muscled either. He's very lean. Looks to most of you what you imagine a kind of a dryad or something similar would look like, but with quite obvious kind of carvings and markings that in some cases resemble Aku's patterns, or some Sylvanus, which we presume would be some dedication to Sylvanus. Lanharath's there in his entire form. This is the most solid, other than the one time he appeared alongside Aku when they were perhaps at their most adversarial, that you will see.
Hayden's just staring slack-jawed because actually he wasn't there that first time everyone else saw Lanharath, so this is his first time seeing Lanharath in his entirety. And he's just like blinking, being like, what the
Zug is with us, right?
Yeah.
Zug probably in his head hear Askell say, "Oh, I feel so threatened by this thing. I didn't really expect to experience it in the physical realm."
Oh, it's him again. Do you want me to chop him down? Got an axe.
I want you to be ready. We may
I'm
need
ready.
to.
Okay. Give the word. Kind of like draws his axe and is just holding it. Kind of a decision.
Hayden
But,
can
Zug,
yes.
just put the axe away.
Zar kind of turns to Ascot.
Yeah, put your axe away.
Oh, sorry. I get nervous. I'm hungry, you know.
Rasha mouths the word "don't" to Zug.
He looks confused, but ultimately takes his cue from Asgore. Okay. As you all turn into the shrine, it is heavily overgrown. There is cracked stone everywhere. This once you see the center is a clearing. You can all go on roll 20. Not for any reason, you know, just
Yeah, no reason.
you can all go, you see it's like the center of this was once, there's a parting in the roof, and even now the sun shines through. It's middle of the day, the sun is right above where you are. There are stone plinths, benches, tablets, statues that are kind of cracked and faded, all on the outside of this central circle where you imagine services were done here, people gathered, or this is the central point of the shrine, and you at one point could stand here, look, read each of the plinths, see the statues. And as you, Aku, you remember this place, I imagine Aku has quite a lot of feelings rushing through his mind, knowing this is not only where he grew up, but perhaps, as little as he may say he cares, where his mother was and died and where he was born. Perhaps the rest of you tangle with those emotions and also wondering, what could there be here? Is there something useful? What happened here? I mean, you don't believe Niam's story, probably quite rightly. And you wonder if there's anything left that could tell you, or anything you could find that might hint what happened 30 odd years ago, or anything about Aku's past that's useful. So I'll let you guys ask about what you want to ask about, and investigate what you need to investigate, and talk to who you want to talk to.
Well, I mean, that does sound like an invitation to start doing some investigation checks. So.
Does
Yeah.
indeed.
Hayden's also going to do some investigation checks and try to figure out what's
Is
going
there
on.
is there like an altar at the shrine? Like,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah.
cool.
What
Because I
does
just will
the
go to that
shrine-
because that was brought up as like a part of the story. Let's go.
What does like it look like? Sorry, the sort of like, are there other?
Sure, there are walls that seemingly were once around this. So, like, if you go on Roll20, you'll have a vague idea of this. There's this central point where the sun shines through, and then that is completely bare, other than stone pavings, which are long since grown through. And around the outside, which I'm not describing too delicately because you may get investigation checks on them, there are various stone plinths, statues, markings, an altar table, statues which you presume might be Sylvanas, but again, you will check. And it very much seems to be the case that this was a central. You stood in the center, and from the center there were various depictions, areas of worship, and it's a kind of a hexagon central area with like the path you just come in being the path in and out. It's not so much. It's not like a church. You came in here, you were surrounded still by the forest, but the stone and the man-made work to show depictions of Sylvanas readings, whatever there were, and it was almost like you imagine standing here, the sun above you, nature all around you, calming, peaceful, incredibly connected to nature, but also reminded and surrounded by the symbols of devotion. And as of course, none of you can help but wonder what it was perhaps like as a young Aku growing up here, and what it would have been like as a young woman who ran here for protection, as it were. So, what investigation checks have we got?
Oh, low for me. That's actually, wait, no, I have reliable talent. I don't know why that's not feeding through. That should be a 22.
And I am a 23.
Dirty 20 from me.
Dirty
First
20
time
from.
ever I get investigation rolls that aren't a 3.
I'm gonna thematically say Zerg rolls a 1 and is just a bit blinded by the sun. So I'll Rasha, what did you get?
Dirty 20.
I was gonna ask, can I like roll religion and try and get a sense of like how, like what kind of is still going on in terms of like the religious power of
Yes,
the shrine?
absolutely.
and all
Go
that?
for it. Okay, so we got some dirty 20s. I would say that those of you all noticed that Lanharath
Dirty
has
20.
walked to the center of this area and is looking up and just gazing each of the plinths, each of the thing, and seems to be standing directly in the center. However, I'll go down to it. Aku, what would you be looking for here with your dirty 20? Where would Aku's mind first go to check or look for?
He would, I mean, he's familiar with like the surroundings, so I think he would just be looking at any information relating to what the people and Nima had said, like in last session. So any like sign of another person having been here, that he
I actually
doesn't
get a
recognize.
survival check from you then, not an investigation.
Okay.
You can take the roll if you want, because you rolled for it. So
No, it's okay. I can roll some.
that's an 18.
survival. Oh, do you want me to take that roll?
Yeah, just tell me what your
Okay,
plus is to survival.
plus 7.
25. Okay,
Nice.
cool. So, Aki, you've learned a lot on your journey. You've learned a lot about tracking, hunting, and kind of coming back to this place with fresh eyes. You kind of kneel down and you look kind of scattering around, and you know that during your time it was very rare for people to come here, even from the village. They may have wandered, your person, but ever since what happened, you now piece it together in your head that the village didn't come here a lot. There are occasional tracks. There have been has been one or two visitors since you were here before, and you can kind of make out human tracks that are not fresh, but certainly there. They exist. And kind of looking, you can see they kind of do a bit of a circuit of each of the ones. There's kind of pacing backwards and forwards beneath the altar. With a survival check as well, there are scraps of cloth, particularly around the table, the altar. There's blood stained around the altar. In particular, there's a drag with a 25. There's a dragging, almost like somebody, like there's like drips in some places, and almost like someone dragged it and long stained and kind of grown over. But as you kind of peel back some of the moss and things, it's like there. You can tell in kind of the entanglement and the way that the stone is more there. There was something organic once was there, and it seems to have almost dried it off and pushes it slightly north, which is where your next phase of your investigation will take you. I will then go down to Casadius. You got a 20, a dirty 20, sorry?
22
23.
it was.
22. Where would you go?
He was going to look around the grave for any signs of struggle. Well, the altar for any signs of struggle. That was his, like...
Yep. Looking at the altar, you can see that in the altar, or around the altar, there are, in the stone, there are kind of... Puncture wound sounds odd in stone, but there are, like, thin divots, as if a knife or a dagger or something has been stuck into this table multiple times. And with that roll, you see that it's happened more than once, and these aren't all the same occasion.
And like it would take a ridiculous amount of force to do that to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not feasible. Yeah.
You also see the same thing as Aku with the blood, and like, there's blood on the table, and kind of someone's been pulled off this. You also see that with that and the roll, you see that there's the occasional, as you pick down, there's remains here that the odd one every now and then around this table that are human. But no, there's a couple that aren't from the same body. So that's where we'll leave that one. Hayden.
I rolled a 23, and I think probably Hayden will be watching Aku quite closely when he's kind of examining what's going on, and kind of following on from where Aku's survival check has ended with him seeing blood trails kind of off into the trees. Hayden would kind of continue that search.
Could you make a survival check for me in that case? We can save the investigation check and for another time.
Okay.
Basically, I don't want this to be like one check, you find everything. This is building each time. So think about what you've got and think about what you then need it to, and we'll roll again.
Okay, then I rolled a 14 for survival.
Survival. The blood trail kind of goes off a bit north, and you follow it, and you find kind of buried underneath a tree, moss and overgrown thing. You kind of pull it out, and there is a cloth scarf, heavily old, mostly degraded, but wrapped up under a tree, slightly bloodstained.
Cool. When I find it, I'm gonna carefully lift it out and then hand it to Aku if he's followed.
Cool. We'll leave you two. Rasha, what would you bet to?
It was a dirty 20, and I wanted to roll religion and kind of look at the shrine, maybe like rituals or what's done here, try and get a sense for like the power of the place.
So you look around and you are reading the inscriptions upon many of these plinths. You can make out some of them, and some of them have been altered, or there's scratchings alongside of it. But I'll read some of them to you. We say that flowers return every spring, but that is a lie. It is true that the world is renewed. It is also true that renewal comes at a price. For even if the flower grows from an ancient vine, the flowers of spring themselves new to the world, untried and untested. The flower that wilted last year is gone. Petals once fallen are fallen forever. Flowers do not return in the spring, rather they are replaced. It is in this difference between returned and replaced that the price of renewal is paid. Another one. Sorry, that continues. And so it is for spring flowers, so it is for us. That's the end of that one. Find another one. Birth is painful and delightful. Death is painful and delightful. Everything that ends is also the beginning of something else. Pain is not punishment. Pleasure is not a reward. Outside the summer rain, a simmer of rot and renewal fell in pinpricks. Even new life is fuel. Another one. I'll copy paste these all into the chat, don't worry. Frogs, lice, and flies must all his palace fill. With load intrusion and fill all the land, his cattle must of rot and murrain die. With that roll, these are all quotes that can be applied to nature. They're all about renewal, rebirth, cycles.
Do I get the sense that this is like a magical kind of incitement and inscription? Like, if we're seeing remains and things, am I getting the sense that this shrine is to like action stuff?
You get the sense that this shrine. So there's latent power here. You can tell from the fact that the shrine is still in seemingly protecting nature around it from whatever is cursed to Savalirwood. All of the inscription around you is clearly about renewal, rebirth, but also the price that costs. You know that for what you know of Sylvanas, nature is not particularly kind often, and it's all about how there's a harsh truth kind of being told here, even in flowery language, perhaps, and it's the sense of rot, decay, leading to something new, that something has to end for something else to begin. From Rash's point of view, it doesn't quite go. Geb's philosophy, making something better from what it started with. This is more everything has a price, everything that changes, and even the seasons or new life has to be the end of something else. It's clearly all too dedicated to Sylvanas, many of them are, but the scratchings is perhaps what's thing. The words "help me" have been written under some of these. Scratched, not with fingernails, but seemingly with fairly rudimentary tools compared to what it originally was. Underneath one of them it says, "Please, I'll give you anything."
I see.
Ascor, what would you be finding?
So Ascor, looking around at his companions, doing these quite meaningful and sort of deep and spiritual communions with this space, is going to just kind of look a little bit out of place and think, oh shit, well, what do I know? What do I know? And Ascor, as he begins walking towards the center, doesn't quite get there, recognizes Lanharath there, and he's not feeling super comfortable around that thing for now. So what Ascor does do is he starts looking around and think, what is this place? Where am I? And he starts considering the, he thinks, what do I know? And he starts thinking of the architecture of the place, the construction of it. What kind of stone? Is the stone natural formation? Is it very clearly hewn? Is there like some kind of, geographical significance to the area? Is sort of the peak of a mountain or the basin of a valley? Is it perhaps that there are certain partings of trees or stones, some kind of alignment with the light of the moon or the sun or something like that, and just try and work out maybe there's some kind of logic or relationship between this place, its structure, and its stone?
Looking at the stone, it's all been carved, chiseled by hand. This has taken somebody a huge amount of time. You know that you have machines that do it for you, or like automated stuff, or other people. And
well, people are cheaper, so
it's taken a great deal of care, even in its slightly desecrated is the wrong word, dilapidated, overgrown form. But what you notice is none of this rock is native to native's not the wrong word. None of this rock is from the local areas in the forest. These are all too large. They're all too weather beaten, you can presume that this rock was once at the top of a mountain and has either fallen or been rolled down. You perhaps think of where you've come from. It might have been brought from there, or it might have been brought from farther afield. You perhaps, I'd say with your roll, you can judge that it's probably been here based on kind of when one form of erosion that is completely alien to this happened and what's kind of the earth growth now. 400 to 500 years.
Was that by any chance, like from what I saw towards the top of the trail, did I see any like quarrying around there or any like obvious?
Yeah.
There
There were mines closed on the way up. In fact, you imagine it may have once been an old mining village. And looking at this thing, you look up where it is, you look at the way they are, the sun setting east to west, that the position of this is very much supposed to be so central here, like where you are now, directly down, and when the sun is highest, none of the statues other than one is in the sun, and at those other points the light is more evenly distributed. The statue in the center, the one that's lit by the sun, is that of a large lion that you have all seen before, or like mostly of a lion, which is, you remember, is the avatar of Sylvanas you met in the Feywild, or some of you did. The other statues, as you look at them, looking at the stone, some are broken, some are chipped, some are denied, depict a more humanoid form. And I'll leave that at there. We'll come back to Casadius. Casadius, based on what you heard and what you've you can look around and see what other people are doing, is there anything else you'd like to investigate?
He'll go assist Hayden and Aku looking through the undergrowth.
Okay. Collectively, all three of you see as Hayden pulls out this scarf, cloth, whatever it is, that was wrapped up and covered in blood. Stained blood even now. What are you going to look for? What are you going to do with it? Or what do you say to each other?
Do you recognize this? Is this yours? Do you want to have a look? And he's going to pass it to Aku.
Do I recognize it, DM? What does it look like?
It's the same color as the first piece of clothing, just a simple loincloth you remember wearing when you were young.
What color is that? Like, what does it look like?
I mean, it's dyed a fairly odd color of green, which is why you recognize it. It's seems to be torn from a larger garment.
Can I do something helpful?
Sure. Oh, wow. Are you saying it to me, or are you saying it to Aku?
Aku, can I?
Yeah.
Will it upset you if can I hold that for a second?
No. He just like throws it to Casadius.
Cass is gonna hold on to it. He's gonna look at it, get a good focus, and he's gonna reach down to the ground and look around for a forked twig.
Okay.
When he picks that up, he is going to cast Locate Object for anything within 1,000 feet that is made of the same cloth.
Oi, oi.
Nice.
Lady is smart, dude.
I have used this in so many games to like just surprise people with what you can do with this spell.
So,
I found clay on the bottom of someone's feet in a murder scene. It was great.
With the inventiveness of there's nothing within 1,000 feet. That's not true. There are small fragments within 1,000 feet. You kind of feel them kind of pinprick out as if strands had been left in places. There's one quite major source back up the mountain.
Is that in the direction of the village?
Yes.
Okay. I'm getting a big ping of this fabric coming from the village, but that might be that they just all weave their cloth from the same thing, but then that would probably insinuate this person, whoever this belonged to, came from the village. We can go back and ask, or we can try and find some of the smaller pieces and see if they lead us on a little trail, and if not, then we go back to the village and check. Jamie, do the little pieces seem to be leading in a particular direction? Or...
No, they're scattered all around. I don't know if I could share with you or not, but if you go find one, it's a little strand of the same thing. You imagine that this would happen if someone had worn this and walked around this area a lot, or worn something similar.
And they all seem to be from the same garment.
Yes.
Same color and everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no
Yeah.
like particular concentration in the like bone pile or anything, like little scraps or.
No.
Okay.
Weird. I'll go pick up as many of the pieces as I can, so I'll let you know if I find any other bits of person.
Yeah. Don't go too far.
Fine. Scout rogue, baby. Because Ideas is gonna wander off and
You find a lich. Unlucky.
Oh man, another one.
Okay, because as you go, start finding as many of these small fibers.
If that's how he goes, I want you all to know that his last words were "Life's a lich."
Just slightly over the time, so we will take a break very soon. But Hayden and Aku standing there, holding the cloth, or I don't know if it is to take it. What would you two then proceed to do?
So doesn't jog any memories, that piece?
I mean, I do vaguely recognize it, probably as something. Yeah, maybe something I wore, but I imagine if there are any scraps of fabric around here, I probably would have picked them up for the sake of warmth, so I don't know if that's meaningful.
Yeah.
Both of you make survival checks.
Okay.
That's 20 again.
Ooh, nice. 17.
17. Hayden, you start looking around and wondering back and forth, and you notice each of your tracks, and there's also smaller prints that some of you imagine, perhaps some of them, there's not a huge amount of them, are Aku's, because it starts as relatively small and there's the occasional path and gradually getting heavier and bigger feet and more obvious. But there's nothing else. Aku, you see these as well. But you see one set that stands out. Walking from the clearing and the shrine to this location where there was a bundle of clothes, there is one set of footprints, heavier than any you left. You could judge with a 20 belonging to a adult man.
One question I have, Jamie, is there do we get a sense of preservation in this area, of where it's green in the forest? Because I imagine that something like footprints would not be left after 10,
this almost
20,
seems
30
frozen
years.
in time where you are,
Right. Okay.
especially with everything else happening around you.
So I see.
In some part, it's the most vibrant part of the forest you've been in, and in some parts, it seems like other than your footprints, nothing changes here.
Okay. So I see adult male footprints. Do I get a gauge of how old they are? Dirty 20? I don't know.
Not significantly older than the ones Aku leads, but you remember that none of these seem to fit with yours. Different. You're always barefoot.
Yeah.
This person was wearing some form of footwear.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are doing that.
Rasha will
Rasha.
step over to Aku and say, "You know, Aku, I've been thinking. I know you cannot commune, but maybe if I cast the spell, you could sort of do it through me to try and speak with Sylvanas. Ask some questions about what happened here. Can facilitate it with the magic. Would that be helpful?" And you'll know commune is 3 questions, yes or no.
I've never done such a thing, but if you're able, then yeah, why not?
I think if I am casting this in a place of Sylvanas, I mean, I don't know, maybe Geb will help us reach out to him and he can tell us what happened.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
Ascot, as the only one left in the thing, you see that Lanharath has walked over to the altar and has got his hand on it and is kind of examining it. But the rest of you, this discussion continues.
Yeah, I mean, Russia, you've been really successful in the past with communing with Geb and back when he was trapped and stuff, so sounds like it's worth trying, right?
Yes, it is 3 questions, so let us be careful and clear about what it is we are asking from Sylvanas, but...
I mean, what do you want to know? And he kind of looks between both Rasha and Aku. See if either of them have got suggestions.
I guess, I mean, we don't have to ask something that's related to me. We could ask about the Kalashtar, but I would probably want to know if it was my mother that died here, and yeah, maybe we can help try and make the links. I mean, was it my mother that died here, and that was where I was born? Did she sacrifice herself? I mean,
Curse the people, or just, yeah, did she do
and
the
the-
cursing?
yeah, and the curse, I suppose.
I
Would
saw some things on the carvings, like scratching, saying, what was it? Help me and I'll give you anything. So, I think this is a place that, and he looks over at the pile of bones. Maybe people come here when they need something to be renewed or reborn, or they want to give themselves or something up in exchange for something new, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, worshipping Sylvanas is all about giving back to the earth. It's about, I mean, sacrifice is a crude word. It's we all die, we all decay, and that feeds our bond with Sylvanas, that feeds the strength of nature and gives life to other things. It's a very simple thing. I'm sure everyone's aware of that, right?
It's very difficult and complicated to me. I mean, Gabe is all about preserving beauty forever undying, so you know, it is kind of looks down at rotting things. I don't know. We don't do this thing in Geb.
Well, our religions are different, but at the end of the day, you still die. Everyone still dies, no? We return to the earth. It's our offering. He points to, I mean, he's familiar with the shrines, with the words as such. Like, I mean, I would say that no matter who you worship, this is universal. The ultimate truth, right?
Hayden, given everything, how do you feel at the moment?
Hayden's looking a little bit anxious, and he interjects while they're kind of discussing what question to ask. And he says, well, hold on, if you're gonna speak to Sylvanas, do you think that she would know what's happening with your quarry? Because the people in the village were saying that you normally should coexist with them and not basically have blackouts when you guys are kind of swapping sides, so if they can't answer what's going on, maybe she can. And this is the place where you guys formed your bond? Would she have been involved in that at all, or... You guys are separating again right now, so...
Sylvanas... he's like pretty overwhelmed with like information. I don't think necessarily Sylvanas and Lanharath are related. I mean, I grew up in an old shrine of Sylvanas. This is where I found my faith. But Lanharath is my quarry spirit. This
Right.
is something of the Kalashtar. This is a different place, a different matter.
But she's like a god, though, right? Like, and you've been like a loyal servant of her. Is there a way that she might know? Like, even if she's not the one who did it, like, gods are kind of like all-knowing, all-encompassing kind of entities, right?
I could ask him, but I wouldn't. I don't know what Sylvanas would know about my life in particular. I've never, aside from very briefly when I spoke to a servant of Sylvanas back in the Silvercock Crossroads, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I've never spoken to him. I'm a tiny speck, and
Mm.
No,
Okay.
Aku,
he
you are
looks
not.
unsure. He looks
You are
unsure.
not. The gods are always watching, and if you are a loyal follower to them, they will be following you. They know everything. Geb knows that I hid under my bed and that I did not fold my clothes all the time when I was told to, because I was not well behaved for some time. And
Oh, yeah.
Sylvanas will know about your quarry spirit, because that is more important than my socks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Rasha, but your faith and your bond with Geb is very unique. Sylvanas has thousands, millions of.
Yeah, but how many of those followers of Sylvanas get up in the middle of the night, leave their tent, and go kill animals in the desert? Like, you're probably special. You're always sacrificing stuff for her.
I was going to say maybe a mark of specialness is maybe like the spear and fixing the growth with the mushrooms
Mhm.
and the special tree rather than the killing of animals in the desert. But
What
Yeah,
Rasha's saying, yeah.
expressions of faith go a long way with the
Yeah.
gods.
I
You've done
missed
some
you,
very
Rasha.
big ones. Yeah,
These are good points. You're very wise.
I missed you as well.
Aw,
Yes,
thanks, man.
yes.
Well, I suppose we can ask Sylvanas. I can't know if he would respond.
I mean, the worst thing he says is, nah, I don't know. And it's like, well, you'd know that if you didn't try. So just try, right?
Okay, so Rasha, as you hold Aku's hand,
Like sit in the middle of the clearing, angle ourselves between some things, all very religious and stuff.
Hayden taking the other one, you sit, all of you in a little circle, and Rasha, you breathe, connecting to yourself, feeling your amulet grow warm. You reach out to ask your questions. What is your first question?
Well, he's gonna kind of reach out through Geb and say, Geb, I really need to speak or have Aku speak to Sylvanas. Can you like do a hotline god thing? Sort of. Facilitate
There's-
the connection, please.
There's silence. It's not a no, not a yes, just silence.
Does it feel like Aku asking questions will be the same effect, linked and all that?
I think if you say it together.
Mm-hmm. Aku, I think this will go. So, what is the first thing?
I think I need a. He's like totally lost words. He has never communicated with Sylvanas before. He's looking to Rasha, and I don't know how obvious it is, but he clearly sees like Rasha as someone way more familiar with this process.
Just think of Sylvanas and what your bond means and how it feels when you reach out to him for your magic and your prayers, and have that in your heart when you ask, and that will go through to him, through me and Gip. He will be listening.
I don't know how DM, I don't know how much I need to decide on the wording here, but the first question is gonna be like, is it 2 questions? I don't know. Like
You have 3. You have 3 totals.
no,
What
but
is
like
in this? Yeah.
like
Do they
he
have to be
wants-
yes or no questions?
Yeah, you get
The answer is a
one-
yes or no.
It's always correct unless the god flat out doesn't know, in which case they say uncertain.
Mm.
And we can cast it more times, just the more I cast it, there's a 25% chance it's wrong after that. So the first set is always right, and then they might go a little off-piste.
The first question. All 3 of you say it together. What question do you ask? Through Geb to Sylvanas.
Is asking if my mother gave birth here like too obvious? I don't know. Like,
Just-
is that a waste of a
that's fine.
question?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Yeah, that's the first question.
So as you all sit there, you chant. Was Aku's mother here when she gave birth? Ascor, you look as Lanharath goes completely rigid. And all 3 of you hear in Lanharath's voice, and you see him say this out loud. Yes, she was on this very table. And then you see him kind of fall back, look around startled, and then all 3 of you hear in your head, how did I know that? How did you ask me that?
Sylvanas is
And-
speaking through you.
That is where we will take a break.
Oh my god.
Please be back at 10 past 9.
See you soon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're D&D Boyband. Thank you for joining us after the break. The group are currently in a shrine, Sylvanas, investigating long ago events, finding out what exactly happened here, maybe, and the effects it has on today. They have just Casadius has gone off and collecting small shreds of fabric that is informing some of the magic that he has been casting. Ascor has been looking at the stonework and is now staring pointedly at Lanharath. Aku's Quarry Spirit. Aku, Hayden, Zug is with Ascor. Aku, Hayden, and Rasha are attempting to cast Commune. And speaking through Gep to speak to Sylvanas has resulted in Lanharath answering in the affirmative, however, which is that Aku's mother was here when she gave birth to him.
That's good.
I'll zone you all back in.
Wait.
My Go on.
No, you go first.
No, you go.
I'll go first. The fat beats have stopped.
Well, you're in charge of them, Luke.
Is it?
Yeah.
No,
Like
don't-
now?
Yeah, now. Hold on. No, they're playing, don't worry.
All right.
Okay. Right. Hayden was gonna say, hold on a second.
Hayden says, hold on a second.
Wait, did Lanharath just answer your question to Sylvanas? Which is
Sylvanas is using him as a proxy or something.
or is Lanharath Sylvanas in disguise?
I imagine it's because of Lanharath and I's bond. I mean, if I ask a question, perhaps Lanharath's bond with Sylvanas is stronger than mine. I think I would know if I was carrying around a god with me my entire life.
All of you, everyone, including Casadius here, checked it out cyclically. So Casadius and Asco, you have no context for this. No, that wasn't divinely ordained. I can see it now. I see her. I see her on the table and I see you.
Wait, what? I looked at Aku to see how Aku's responding to this.
As in, this is what Sylvanus is showing you, or?
Oh, Jesus, I just don't know.
As Sylvanus is being weird, Ascor's just kind of backing away slowly.
As Lanharath, you mean?
Lanharath.
Oh, these are my memories. I can feel them. How did I forget?
Well, I guess... When did you bond with Aku? I mean, were you just kind of hanging around here before... I mean, it's not... I don't know how quarry spirits work, but is it not outside the realm of possibility that you were here? Just witnessing it all, or...?
I don't know. Normally it's later. I don't remember much from before, and I don't remember much before Aku was almost a teenager.
Teenager.
This is before.
So you remember when... You remember my mother? You remember when I was a child?
Now I saw
What do you
an
mean?
image.
What do you mean now? You don't forget something like this?
I don't know. I remember it clear as day now, and how could I ever forget?
Do you remember why she was there and what she was trying to do? Or must we ask Sylvanus for it?
It's as if it's a painting. No backdrop, no canvas, no context. But I see her, and I know it's you, and I know it's her.
Okay, what next? Turns to Aku.
What, you just remember an image of us, or what else can you tell me? I mean,
There's more, there must be more, but it's as if I'm trying to reach and it's always slightly out of grasp.
okay. We are still communing, right? Next question then, if Lanharath is being very vague as usual, is gonna be, did Aku's mother choose her death? Was that within her control?
As you say the question together, both of you all here, stop. I'm not answering.
From who?
Lanharath.
What do you mean you're not answering? We're trying to find answers. You can't just stop us from having some kind of understanding here of what's happened. it's not your right.
There's no response. And there's no follow-up to the commune question.
You cannot gatekeep what Aku gets to find out. Why is it always your right to choose, Lanharath? When will you ever let Aku make his own decisions?
Yeah, you see Ascor. Lanharath has put his hands on the altar, and you see him seeming like tracing, almost like with his hands.
Ascor probably after Rashar says that Rashaval says that he's probably gonna do a little. Rashaval's gonna hear a little static crackle in his ears as Ascor connects with invasive thoughts, and just says, "What is he doing? He's using it."
The altar?
Yeah.
I don't know. DM, what is he doing?
You don't know. None of you can see it. Other than Ascor.
Isn't
His hands are
Is
just
it like-
outstretched, and you see him kind of running around almost like tracing something. Not rune or
So-
language, but seemingly his hand is running along the edge and then ever inwards.
and the reason I can see in others is simply because
Yori's
I
still
have
in the
right
clearing.
hand.
Everyone else, Casadius was off gathering, although I imagine he's on his way back now with all these
Yeah,
voices
you
in his
guys
head.
just see as this is all happening, Casadus just comes through the bushes clutching different scraps of the same fabric, looking a little bit startled, and then he just sees whatever the fuck is going on and is like...
You got a prayer circle at the moment in with them. They're all sitting down holding hands.
And then
Unless you've broken
Ascor is just on his own with Lanharath.
So Ascor and Zarg are standing in the clearing. Lanharath is on the altar, but you guys are far enough away into the forest that if you can see one, you can't see the other. You're essentially three separate groups now. So it's Casadius, who who you go back to.
I assumed we were communing in the like area with the altars and stuff.
I had it where you were with the cloth. If you're communing in the center where it is, then you all see this and you all return, and that's fine. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I thought it said we were doing it around the stones. and horses and
Apologies.
stuff.
So yeah, in which case, Casadius, you walk back. It's a prayer circle in the middle. Lanharath's there. Everyone has seen what Lanharath's been up to. I think Ascor and I were equally confused, but sorry, you're all in the center then.
What am I missing? What's going on?
Well, we were trying to commune with Sylvanus until Lanharath decided that it was his decision not to tell us anything.
These questions shouldn't be going through me. I need a moment. Always so impatient. Please. These are my memories. This is my history as much as it's anybody else's. And you are so young. These aren't your memories. It's your past. My life. Allow me a moment, please.
Are these questions we should be asking Nima?
What do you mean?
And Cass just holds up a clump of the fabric.
What do you mean? Who is Nim?
Nima, Aku's dad.
Maybe.
Well, no matter who he is, all the rest of this fabric is definitely at his house. Thought you want to know. Yep.
He was, in fact, down here, which I imagine he wouldn't have come down here if he had, But that doesn't make any sense. I mean, if I was here and he was here, then...
Well, he
He
could have come and picked up the scraps recently to get rid of them in case you found them. Maybe he went out in the night last night to...
Fabric's older than that. The one's left down here. They've been here
But-
a while. That's a possibility that you're sure ahead, Casadius, but you're not certain.
Yeah, I mean, he could have collected it a long time ago. Maybe he just didn't want any evidence at the time either. I don't know.
I lack context a bit, but you're saying that Aku's dad watched Aku's mum kill herself on an altar to make a quarry bond and then just picked up some fabric and
Well,
left?
no. From what we understand, Aku's mom got pregnant, and Aku's dad keeps insisting it's not his baby, even though it sounds like it probably was. And then she was shamed by the village and came out here and killed herself, or something. And there was a curse.
So
It's
he
all
just-
pretty far fetched. It sounds like maybe the village did something bad.
Still, he stood there and watched, picked up some fabric, left, put it back in his house, and kept it for like 20 years.
Well, I mean, if he's guilty because he murdered Aku's mom, then yeah, he might have kept a little trophy. A lot of murderers do that.
What about the scratchings? The help me, please, I'll give you anything.
Well, maybe he had like left her for dead, and then she was like, "Please save my life." You know?
Mm.
I don't know. I'm calling bullshit on this whole
wait,
she
you
sacrificed herself
guys-
story.
You guys said there was some dragging, like that we noticed some dragging, right? Like signs of something being like pulled from the altar. Maybe she just pulled herself off it.
Yeah.
Maybe she wasn't dead when they left.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Lanharath, are you better now? Can you tell us things?
Harath slumped over the altar, and you see him kind of stand up a little bit. The answer was no. She didn't have control of her death.
Oh, she was maybe murdered.
I called it, guys. I called it. I mean, sorry, Aku. The fuck. Oh my god, I'm being so. What's your third question?
It's okay, that's a really good deduction. Well done, Hayden. Russia tries to like smooth it over.
Please,
See
Rush.
how awkward he's
Aku,
feeling.
Aku
He
does
recognizes that feeling very well.
not look very happy at the fact that Hayden's like, yes, I just figured out the murder of your mother. Like, yeah, let's go.
I think it's probably around this point Ascor mentions to, let me think, who's he gonna say it to? Probably leave Aku to duke out the conversation. But he's probably gonna say to shit, just give himself an electric shock. Rashaval is like near me, right? So we decided we are close together rather than split
Yeah.
far apart.
We're hanging out in the prayer circle in the same clearing.
I think Ascot at this point is just gonna go, Rasha, just like quietly, like, can you join me for a minute? I need your opinion on something. It's a little urgent.
He's like holding hands with Aku and Hayden, and he's kind of gonna look to him from be like, oh, we have one more question, but I mean, I guess I can. DM, does breaking
And
the hand holding?
Ascot-
That's fine, right?
That's fine. It doesn't break the spell. It's like,
Ascot might in that case, like just then, before you sort of fuss about it, just comes and sits down next to you, cross-legged or whatever. Doesn't touch you, but just sort of leans across. And even though he leans forward, goes to open his mouth, and then thinks, oh, I know better. Connects telepathically and just says, this space, it's obviously a shrine, but it's also a giant sundial.
Huh.
And he looks up at the sky and looks at the sun. And it's almost noon. I don't know what happens here at noon, but it's clearly designed to emphasize. And he sort of nods to Sylvanus' statue. And I don't know what happens here, but that statue over there, it's gonna be 12 o'clock. And these statues, and he sort of nods to what look like Dim. How would you describe them to?
so there's a couple of, so I said to Ascor, and as you point out, there's one in the center, which is very clearly the Lion of Sylvanus, and most of it's covered in light, as you can see. And it's the best preserved of all of them, kind of being away from the others. There are various statues that are in various, stop saying various, states of disrepair. Kind of half an arm, a chest, legs, a face, covered in half of it with moss. But the more intact ones, as you put them together, with Ascor kind of using his experience with stone and perhaps missing a couple of them together, pointing out to you, it's a humanoid shape. an oddly familiar humanoid shape. A Lanharath shaped familiar statue. Presumably, at some point, this shrine of Sylvanas, with the Sylvanas avatar in the center, in the place of pride, completely bathed in the sunlight of midday, was flanked by several statues of Lanharath.
What do you mean it is a sundial? Why do you dial the sun? Do you what?
Sundial, come on, like it's a
I
really?
lived underground for 20 years. Why would I know what a sundial is? I don't know what the
Yeah, that's
sun
fine.
does apart
Okay,
from
sure.
be hot.
Well, hold on, goddamn, hold on. You do know that the sun moves across the sky, and it's
Well, I
pretty
guess it does do
consistent.
that. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm talking to the wrong guy. Jesus Christ. Oh, not Jesus Christ. Sorry, by the dragon.
No, go on. What about the sun dialing?
Look, I thought you'd know about these things because you're a temple guy. This is obviously a place of ritual and power, and to say it lightly, the time is now.
It is high noon, is what you are saying.
Ah, you know that. Yes, high noon.
So now is the power time, and
Now is when, yes, the power time. And I don't know what the significance is, but these statues, well, do they remind you of somebody?
Rashid takes a look, looks at the stone. Oh no, they really do, don't they?
Why don't you go and talk to the stone? You can do that, no?
Yeah, I mean, we are talking to Sylvan. He's gonna turn around and be like, you know, I think Asko has figured out 12 o'clock high noon, that time. It is an important time for the shrine. And I think an important time for Lanharath, specifically because his eyes are gonna slide to the statues of him. They are sort of statues looking a lot like Lanharath, right?
Hold on, think about it. I'm not saying he was here, but, well, he's here. He's a statue here. These are old. In a way, he's watched over, well, what happened here. Maybe that's why he...
If perhaps maybe she was attacked and she asked for the help of Sylvanas. Maybe the help that came was Lanharath. In the form of, well, I suppose a quarry spirit in the way that you should have had in your life anyway. He is sort of both help from Sylvanas and a spirit.
But I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. Like, Lanharath is my quarry spirit. We've established this. There are many similarities between the Kalashtar and I, and how I'm able to communicate with Lanharath. It doesn't make any sense.
I think you can be both, no?
Has Lanharath
Sylvanas.
ever actually said he's your quarry spirit, or did you presume that?
What else would I be?
I mean, we've found there's inconsistencies between how your guys' relationship works versus other Kalashtar. Are you certain, Lanharath, that you are a quarry spirit?
Lanharath kind of stands on the shape and well, bonded to Aku, that much is clear. We can't be anything else. I see your mother. lying on the altar. She gives birth. And then she's gone. Taken by something. Dead. And you remain on the altar. What possesses a woman to give birth on an altar?
I think that is our last question. Did you do it to curse, or did you do it to, as the shrine implies, make something new bond you to ask for help? I don't know how you want to phrase this, Akubak.
I mean, maybe because she knew she was giving birth alone, she wanted whatever was here to help look after the baby.
Right.
You're gonna hear. Who's it gonna be? Casadius, probably you're gonna hear in your head. As knowing you're one of the in your head you're gonna hear. But I didn't assume she gave birth here. Maybe she was killed here.
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure Aku was here as a baby.
I think the first question was that he was born here, right? So she both gave birth and died here, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what Lanharath said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. She was born here. Sorry, Aku was born here. And Aku's mother did not have a say in her death.
Jamie,
Yes.
the color of the robe that I have in my hands,
Yes.
have I seen a certain person wearing that color?
He wasn't wearing it. But the location is undeniable, and you imagine if he's kept onto it, you can imagine why he's kept onto it. But it's probably quite old by now, and presumably it's ripped and torn.
Aku, what was you said this was the same color as the fabric you wore as a kid, right?
I mean, I'm sure I picked up many scraps of fabric around to keep myself warm. I don't see any
No,
resemblance.
this has been ripped off something, and it would have been put on you. And he's got it at home. Was he here when you were born? Did he wrap you up and then just leave you here?
Sounds like he took the body, if what Lanharath said is true. She died and then was removed by something.
Yeah, but Lanharath said something took her, so I think he would have said if it was his dad. Like, that's a person he can see, surely.
Lanharath, do you have clarity on what it was that removed her? Or does the man Nima make sense to you?
No. Not yet. Not yet.
Probably not a man, then.
So you cannot see, or you cannot remember? Is that what you are saying?
If I can remember, I cannot.
Sadius, when we met with Nima in the village,
Yeah.
did he seem surprised to you?
Not as surprised as I'd be if I found out I had a kid that was already grown up.
And if you're saying that this fabric was left here and you can sense it back in the village, then perhaps it means that he knew I had been born and he knew that I was here.
I think it's very possible he knew and he just left.
Yes.
DM, sorry to interrupt, guys, but DM, how close is that sun getting to the highest of noons?
It's past midday. The statue mostly shines on the statue of Sylvanus at midday. It's seemingly passing on that, and the light is beginning to kind of shift towards the other statues.
I see. So the other statues can take light. Is it like a sundial where it points to one individually, or is it like one's in the light and the rest in shadow? And then
when it's midday, Sylvanus' statue is the only one in light. All the rest are in shadow. At other points of the day, there's like half of the statues of Lanharath that will be in light, and the other half will be in shadow, and that ratio changes slowly. But there's only at midday is only Sylvanus' statue in light, and everything else is in shadow. It occupies
Cool,
prize
and-
of place.
Cool. And is there a kind of like, are there different audiences among the statues, if you know what I mean? Like, is there like the Lanharath-esque one or ones? Are they over there? And then the others that are not Lanharath-esque are over
They're
there?
all Lanharath-esque. The only one that
Right.
isn't is the central lion statue of Sylvanas.
And are any statues missing? Sorry.
No. Some are in better condition than others, but none are missing.
Cool. And nothing really stands out, especially among the
They all
Lanharath
seem
statues.
fairly similar. I'd say if you're looking for some kind of thing, it's the fact that none of them are currently bathed in light. You are, if your like mind is racing through rituals or like anything to do with that, it's like, well, what happens when light is over them? Is that entity more powerful? Is there something to do with like Sylvanas only operating the space now? Like that's where your mind should go.
Thank you. Please continue, friends.
I think we should ask our last question. I don't know how long this connection between Lanharath and Sylvanas holds up.
I mean, I'm lost. What do you think is really gonna shed light here? I mean, she didn't choose how she died, so she didn't sacrifice herself.
Does Nima know what happened?
Well, the accusation is that she cursed the village, right? Did her death somehow curse the village?
Okay, I can ask.
Or did she choose to curse the village? Or did she choose to... Or you could ask about your bond. Did her death create the bond? Or...
Okay. Did her death create the bond between Lanharath and I?
Lanharath stands bolt upright and walks to one of his statues. You see him like touch it briefly. And he turns. Yes. Yes, it did.
Got him.
Yes. It did. Just pauses, looking at Aku. Those of you with relatively high passive insight, you see a mind. Like those eyes are quite thin, but there's a like you've seen somebody thinking incredibly deeply and quickly, and he is.
DM?
Yeah.
I do believe in this odd moment, Askell may cast a spell at 4th level.
Yeah.
So that's 1 level higher than its base casting spell. He's going to cast it as a subtle spell and only has verbal components, so there's no indication. And it's just simply going to be Intellect Fortress. He's going to cast that on himself and Zug, which
Cool.
gives both of us advantage on intelligence, wisdom, charisma saving throws, and resistance to psychic damage.
Awesome. Go for it. Yep, you see that kind of shimmer around you. Zug's eyes flash blue for a second. It's just for flavour. No one notices. And yeah, Lanharath's just standing there looking at Aku. Intently. Uncomfortably for all of you, actually. How do you all react to that revelation and his current body language?
I mean, you must have some understanding then, Lanharath. I mean, if this bond wasn't the traditional quarry bond like other Kalashtar, then how could this be possible?
Well, clearly I'm more linked to this place. She could have beseeched me protect you, perhaps. Perhaps. Hayden, can you make an insight check?
Okay, insight.
Just to note, Cass is going to hold Shatter.
Yo. Okay.
That's
He's just
is
holding
that?
it,
Guys.
just so DM knows.
What
That's
is that?
interesting. That's a very scary spell.
It's a mean spell.
I rolled a 14 on insight.
Something compels you to stand between Aku and Lanharath at this point.
Cool. I do. I'll take a half step forward. I was already standing next to Aku, and I kind of shift to be in front of him.
That's not it. That's not the story. I can see her. Pregnant. She spent weeks here, months, maybe, begging, asking, reciting poems written around here. At my shrine, it must be my shrine. At least, I'm its guardian. She became like you, a true follower. She understood the message of this place. I offered my strength to her, and in return, she made an offering unto the earth. The decay of her offspring on this altar is intended to nourish her bond with the god of the wild, her bond with me. It is a shame that we never saw this to fruition. The boar that spilled her blood upon this ground, sole witness to the bond formed that night between us. After everything, perhaps it's ironic that your mother's flesh was offered in your stead. But with your guidance, and your Geb, and return to this place, I can see with clarity that the command I have over your body and your mind. In fact, it always felt like my right. It makes sense now. Your mother had already promised you to me. Left alone, you squander our potential without objective. You were always mine. Your body is mine by right.
Cass, Shatter.
Rash is getting his fucking weapon out.
Oh
Can he do a Constitution saving throw, please?
Yeah, he can indeed. I'll get up his stat block.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, Cass has just come up next to where Hayden is now standing, so they're kind of both in front of Aku.
Yep. That's
Yep.
fine.
He's just helping defend.
Okay. Going to do that. And so a Constitution saving throw, right?
Yep.
Plus 7. Cool.
I plus.
That's a 17.
Ah, saved by 1.
Does he take damage?
Let me check. He's going to take half of 3d8, so bear with me.
Roll for it.
He's going to take 8 points of
Cool.
thunder damage.
So what was shatter? It's like the loud ringing sound,
Sudden
right?
loud ringing, painfully erupts point within your choice. Each
Yeah.
creature in a 10-foot radius of the sphere located, but he'll have thrown it just behind so that it won't get Hayden.
You see for the first time his like eye contact with Aku is broken, and he kind of holds his head, and you see his ring and like blood pouring out of his eyes as he takes 8 points of psychic damage.
I think it's is it thunder for shatter?
Thunder
or is it
damage.
Psychic, I think.
Makes sense.
Aku, could you
Wounded.
also
Yeah,
take 8
thunder.
points of thunder damage as the same effect works on you?
Shit, boy.
Wait, as in this attack also hits me as well.
Even though you're nowhere near the radius, it hurt
Yep.
him, so it hurts you.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Everybody rush Aku in that case. Rush,
Is
rush,
it
rush.
clear that Casadius is the one that cast this spell? Like, is the source of the spell obvious?
Oh, I would say so. You've seen him cast spells before his hand like full on comes up, so.
Okay.
And it's verbal, somatic, and material, so you'll have seen him cast this.
Well, and does Aku like grunt in pain or anything like when he gets hit by this then?
Yeah, I mean, he's surprised. He's probably gonna. Is it on his head? That
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I
it feels
guess
like
you-
your head is being like you have just the effect. The effect almost hits you as well. You hit your head rings. It feels like somebody has let off a fire grenade in your head, and as you kind of grip your head, grunting, like you turn around and there's a little bit of blood coming from each of Aku's eyes.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as this goes off and like Lanharath like kind of winces in pain or reacts to the attack. At first like Hayden almost like kind of reaches out towards Lanharath, like even despite everything he's been saying, he like there's obviously still like a concern for him. But then like when he hears the sound behind him from Aku, he like whips around and sees Casadius's hand still stuck out, and he says, "Casadius, what the fuck are you doing?"
I was attacking Lanharath.
Well, why? There's no reason to attack him just because he's saying stuff.
You
What the
hear what
fuck?
he just said?
You did hear what he was saying to Aku, right?
Yeah, but it's hurting Aku as well.
Well, I didn't know that, did I? So just saying, it's a little bit. That's not meant to happen. It's only meant to hit the guy over there.
This isn't our decision to make anyway. It is. Aku. Fuck that guy, really. But. What do you want to do?
I mean, he like stops and he looks over to Lanharath. So you believe my body belongs to you. What are you saying with that? Like,
I believe. He's kind of holding his head, looking quite glaring at Casadius slightly, but also kind of waving back. In return for my protection, your body was to be granted to me.
it doesn't
And
belong to
Sylvanas.
you. It doesn't. It's my body and my mind. You can't take it.
And closes his eyes. I'm not sure why I forgot this. But it makes sense. Of course, quarry spirits don't take control. They barely pass judgment. And yet, everything you did, polluting, blaspheming, I had to watch it all. You don't. And all of it was perverse and wrong. All of it could have been avoided. I could have besieged Sylvanas. It was mine by the laws of nature, by the laws of what is right. Why shouldn't I take it, Aku?
Okay, if Aku is getting the feeling that Lanharath is gonna try and gain
What would you
control.
propose instead? We marry along until yet again you decide you don't need me. You attempt to discard me before I discard you. You talked even now, despite the fact I thought things were better on our way here, you said you'd be rid of me.
Well, now that I know that we're not
You're...
bonded as Kalashtar and Quarry, what's stopping me? And Aku is going to draw his spear.
Yes, boy.
Just gonna cast Bless on him. And just say, fuck him up.
As you cast Bless, you
Kick his
see
ass,
a
buddy.
little bit of shimmering light around
Oh god, I was about
Aku?
to bardic inspiration him. Shit.
and Lanharath.
Oh, it's like a dual force field?
Cass
As
is
in-
halfway
as-
through
as-
delivering a compliment to
the
Aku,
same-
and it
the
just
same-
dies on his.
The same sparkle appears around both of them.
And Rash is gonna fold his arms and be like, not that you need it anyway. Just nod.
Clarified, they both have it.
Oh, they both have it.
Yeah.
Level playing field. Great. Not the net zero.
To clarify, the spell is identical in coloring. It's not that Sylvanus has given it, it's that your spell has affected both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. And you see Lanharath, like, so you've drawn your spear.
Yep.
Lanharath looks down. Is this how it ends?
Well, this is a final opportunity for me to be rid of you, so why would I not take it?
I'd say I'd miss you, but that would be a lie. And you see it as like he kind of like extends his arm, turns into it turns into like a curved, sharp piece of wood, and everyone can roll initiative.
Oh my god.
However, given
love
the
this.
rules so far, you do have to bear in mind whatever happens to one of them might happen to the other.
I love this.
No, I hate this.
This is so great. Kill that tree. I hate him.
God.
Kick that tree.
I love the tree. No.
What do you mean?
You still love the tree after everything it just said. You still love the
He
tree.
was like, "Oh yeah, Russia can die. I would do it again." And he emotionally
I want to
tortured my
take over. I want to
character.
take over Aku's
I'm-
body. Like that's your
been
boyfriend, bitch.
Forcing Aku to do shit against his will his entire life.
But
I'm glad. But
Is
I'm glad-
Hayden's crush on
I'm glad-
Aku or is it
I'm
on
very-
that?
I'm very glad like there are strong opinions. Great.
Reroll that.
Aku, what was your roll?
14.
14. Rasha.
Above average for me, so I'm happy.
Ooh, the perfect
Who?
place for cleric to be.
Sadius. I'm just gonna say Zug is not involved. So consider it for him.
Cass, I rolled an 11.
Roll an 11.
Jamie,
not my
Zug
guess.
needs to be involved. Come on. He's
Okay,
all
someone
over
else can
damage.
play. Someone else can play. I don't know if you want to.
I'm happy to play fighter. I've played fighter before.
Zug gets a 23. Fine, if you could load up the Zug thing. I rolled a natural 20 for Zug's initiative, whatever
Does
it
anyone
is.
have Zug's sheet?
Yes.
I feel like we're just watching. I feel like this is Aku Gate, this Aku Ball.
Just in case, though.
That's
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, I
I'll
prefer
get the
you
sheet up.
Me, so.
Okay. So who am I missing from the initiative? Askell, what's yours?
Mine was a 12.
12. 12. My campaigns. 12. Okay, cool. So I will order it that. Zug is first. However, I will say I will let the two combatants battle it out first and kind of go to everyone else's initiative afterwards. Which means it's Lanharath up first. Lanharath is going to hold out his hold out his hand, and he's going to cast Shield of Faith.
Presumably, Aku gains the same benefit.
Perhaps. No.
That's
That's not how this battle works.
He's
Wait,
cheating.
that's one-sided.
Aku can
That's
cast
so
spell. Aku can cast spells on himself that don't affect Lanharath.
He's a cheating tree.
Is that a bonus action or not? It is a bonus action. Yep. And then he's gonna fire off a bunch of, as his arm extends, fire off a bunch of branches and splinters at Aku, which 2 of them are going to attack you. There's gonna be 2d20. That's an 11 to hit, which doesn't, but a 23.
That hits.
Is this a spell?
Okay. No. Ranged attack. That's the first one was though, Defender of Faith. There's 11 points of piercing damage, and could you make a Constitution saving throw for me?
Constitution saving throw. I'm good at those. Plus. Okay. Okay.
11.
That's 11.
You are technically poisoned. Oh. Disadvantage on attack rolls. As you kind of both of them hit, you see like one bounces off as you kind of deflect it, but the other one catches you right here, and you see the poison seep into you, immediately going into your veins and your heart, and you feel it begin to burn through your veins. He's gonna move.
I can see this happening to Lanharath when Lanharath attacks.
No.
Aku. Right. Okay.
He's gonna move to the other side of the altar. He's gonna put his hand across it. If you insist, like mother. Like son. And that's going to be your go, Aku.
Well, I am going to attack Lanharath. Twice.
Okay, are you going to run over to him?
Yeah.
It's him. It's him.
Not him.
Oh my god, that's a 3. What the fuck is? Oh, that's wait, that's not even with. Oh my! I just rolled a natural 1. You fucking joking?
Over.
I mean, you're trying to attack yourself, right?
As you go, he like literally with his arm, as you go to thrust with the spear, pushes it upwards, using it to whip round, pull you in ever so slightly, and says, "Nobody knows you like I do. I think we can't see everything you're going to do," and pushes you back ever so slightly. Go
He
again.
can attack twice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a 13.
Nope.
Hit.
Again, this time perfectly
Bless?
predicting you. He almost parries you. Oh, you do have bless.
Bless.
You do have bless.
1d4? Is that a d4?
1d4.
Oh my god!
Oh, also
Nice
roll it.
one.
Also roll it for the poison.
Another
Roll a
d4?
1d4. You need a 3. Oh wow. Okay. So you're not poisoned. That's fine. You're not poisoned. So no disadvantage
Oh,
on
okay.
these.
I thought that was poison damage. I was like, why do I roll the fucking
No, that's
natural
fine.
1 when it's
And
okay.
and like, see, still before you even go to like counterattack, he almost thrusts it as if he predicted it and pushes it off to the side. I'm gonna go to the top of the initiative round. If there's nothing else you want to do with your turn, bonus action.
No. Actually, yes. Oh, fuck. Okay, never mind. I didn't think of this before. I'm gonna cast, as my bonus action, Abjure... Channel Divinity Abjure Enemy. So I should have advantage, so next round I'll just have straight rolls.
Okay, cool. No, you're not poisoned, so you have advantage next turn. Because you rolled a 4 on the thing and
Okay,
you
got
beat
it,
the
got it.
DC. I'll go to the top of the round. It is Zug first. Party, do you want Zug to do anything with what has just unfolded?
Could champion fighters do anything to like get people to like?
I mean, Zug was like had his axe in his hands early and was like, "I want to chop the tree." So I feel
I would
like
say, like, without getting too into the rules of what's going on, you imagine a physical thing that helps Aku might be different than a magical thing. Bardic inspiration might not carry over. as an
Could
example.
Zug run over and grapple it?
Oh, nice. Restrain him.
Yeah.
There's
could you,
also
like-
the help action.
What does the help action do?
Zug can't. Zug is more than 30 feet. Zug would have to sprint, and then he's not actually super close either.
But then he could use action surge.
So Zug sprinting would move 60, and then he's still out of range. So
Is he?
yeah, so 60 is like here.
Oh shit!
Wait, yeah.
Why was he so far away, Zug? What the fuck?
I may have put him in the corner, which might be slightly unfair. He can be in the middle with everyone else.
Yeah. Can he use his action and his bonus action to run over there, and then can he use his action surge, and can he then grapple Lanharath?
Yep, that's cool. If you want to mark that off, I will remind myself.
I don't have a sheet, buddy.
Oh, you don't have. Sorry, did I not give it to you?
No.
Sorry. I think that's.
If I had the sheet, I know I'd have a bit more of an idea.
Yeah. Sorry. To be fair, champion fighters are just a bit I hit, so.
That's fine. Fighters in general are just a bit I hit. I remember fighters definitely have action surge, so I'm just flying off the seat of my pants here.
Lady. Yep. Sorry. There we go.
Thank you.
Cool. I'll remind myself as the grapple rules, which I always forget. Grapple rules.
I will tick off a action surge in that case.
If you can, right? So the rules are very similar. Target creature one less of you can. You can only target one creature one size larger than you. You attack roll. You make a strength check contested by your target's strength or dexterity stats. So could Zug roll with his strength stats, which is a +5?
Strength stats. Just a straight strength roll, or is it an athletics roll?
Straight strength, according to Grapple.
Alright.
To be honest,
No.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
No, yeah, I'm reading the rules directly.
I wasn't sure if it was athletics or not.
Whenever you make a melee attack, you can choose to grapple instead. To attempt to grapple somebody, make a strength. Oh, no, it is athletics. Sorry. In the official rulebook, it doesn't say, but in the other ones, it's like, no, actually, it is athletics. So athletics are contested by the strength or dex of this creature, which is a +8.
Okay, that's a 29 from Zug.
That's a 12. So he is currently grappled. And Zug kind of reaches over and you see him pull round and Aku, this doesn't affect you. So Zug is currently grappling Lanharath.
To be in character, Zug yells "nut him" or something like that.
Hit him, Leonard. Hayden, you're up.
Okay, so quick clarification. Is Lanharath actually standing on the ground and like walking physically, like
Yes.
to move and attack?
Yep.
But right now Zug is grappling him.
Yep.
Okay. Everything I had planned to do is not possible now because of the grapple, so
Sorry.
that's totally fine. I am I'm gonna just skip my turn. I don't know what to do.
You can hold an action just in case the situation comes back again.
The help action will give Aku an advantage, or the next player an advantage on attack.
Yeah, I mean, how do I help him though? And I don't know if I want to help him either. Hayden's literally so stunned by what's just happened, and that he just
That's
doesn't
fine.
move.
Roleplay being unsure what to do.
He just doesn't know what to do. He just stands stunned. That's the end of my turn.
Nice. Fair enough. And then we go to Lanharath, who is going to let me get my stat block back up, sorry. He's going to reach out his hand towards Aku and cast Hold Person. Aku,
DM reaction.
Yep.
Counterspell.
Cool, absolutely.
Nice.
As he holds his hand out, it disappears. Fine. Not that way. That's it. That's fine. That's his go. Because there's nothing else he can do. Aku.
Wait, does Rasha and Asgore not have... Did they not roll initiative?
They do, but that's a reaction. They're below you guys. So, you like Aku and Lanharath went first, just as kind of their own round, and now we've gone back to initiative for everyone,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
everyone else is after.
Okay, roll to attack. Gonna stab this motherfucker in...
Stab this group-looking motherfucker in the face.
Oh my god, that's a natural 20! Yes, Mike!
Yes.
Yes, smite him, Leonard!
Mike.
Alright. Holy shit, as if. Okay. I am gonna use... I haven't used a smite properly this entire campaign. I need to check,
Time for the big guns.
Okay.
Big boy smite for the key moment.
Features...
Don't you love it when a fight just gets ruined by a smite pouring
Yeah.
prosecco? Very sad.
Sad drinking from the DM.
Okay.
This is going to be great. Oh,
Didn't you enjoy having Kazuma and Quan both the smite?
I did not actually.
What
Okay.
level are you going to cast that?
Improve.
No, that's just making me more upset.
Oh god, I don't okay. Improve divine smite that increases by 1d8 per spell level.
Yes. So it starts at 2, right? And if you cast it at 2nd level.
Okay, max d 5d8. Okay, so
Casting it at 5th
I'm
level.
gonna cast it at 5th level.
Yeah!
Okay, so right. I have my pain. Okay, so I rolled 7. No, wait, that's how is that possible? Okay, yeah, 17 points of damage, which is doubled because it's a crit.
Yep.
Okay.
No,
and
the
then-
8 is doubled, so it's 16,
Oh
25.
yeah, you're right. Okay, 20, 25.
And then all your smite damage will be doubled, right?
And then
Yep, that's how that works.
Yep.
For some reason.
5d8, 21, so that's
42
42
plus 25.
plus 25.
Okay.
It's
67.
After the initial thing, even though he's been counterspelled, Lanharath's there. He's confident, slightly cocky, if you will. His mannerisms are uncharacteristically like Aku, and they're obviously linked for a very time. However, as he's held and he's saying, he turns, and the enmity emitting from Aku kind of swells, and everything seems to fall away. All of you seem to be watching this through a glass bowl as Aku's spear whips it round, doing a move you guys haven't seen before, and uppercuts Lanharath. You see his chin slap back, and as it slaps back, there is a crack and a ricochet of divine energy shudders through the body. Each one feeling each bark, and you kind of see splinters and things erupt, almost as if there's it gone from here to the center of him and is trying to push out. And as that kind of erupts, there's a thunder crack that pushes, and you see kind of leaves falling off the trees, smoke, birds flying off the thing from the distance, and Lanharath kind of still standing, ever so slightly wobbly, even with Zug. Zug, the force has pushed Zug back. You see Zug's feet are dug into the ground, and Lanharath's eyes roll back for a second, and he kind of takes he needs to recenter himself and stare at Aku, and that cockiness is gone, and he realizes this is a fight, and he just took one hell of a hit. Yeah, that's and Aku standing there, wouldn't just whipped back round for his second attack.
Right. Okay. This is. No, that I didn't mean to roll. Oh, I just rolled 5d20s. I just got 2 natural ones.
Oh my
in
god,
the
you're
5d20s.
roll out the luck. Roll out the bad luck.
Unluckiest roller I've ever met.
That's.
Are you taking the 2 natural
I am
ones?
taking the first 2 natural ones. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
you rolled double natural one. This time, freeing his arm somehow, catches your spear and holds onto it.
I mean, you gotta admit that's kind of hot though, right?
Why are you simping for this evil twig?
We're only human, Clued.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Honey, ain't no kid. He is Groot.
I'll need your monster fucking permit.
Okay, Ascor, you're up.
I got it ready.
I'm pretty sure I just had a turn. Does it now's it gone back around or back around?
No, that was your counter
You're in reaction.
thing. You had a reaction. You haven't had a turn.
No, I feel like. Oh, have I not?
No.
Boy. All right. Shit, son. I thought I was weeks away. Oh no. All right. Let me make it quick then. Yes. 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 Oh yes. That will affect both of them. Ooh. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, shit, son. This is no.
Nicer.
Will it focus?
What's it saying? Am I being mocked?
No, it's not about you.
She's showing her license.
I'm showing my license.
Oh, your monster fucker license.
Yeah. Shit, son. Fuck. Ascor. That's concentration.
Oh, by the way, Lanharath's concentration on Shield of Faith, fucked.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, I've not got the... Okay, what's this one gonna do? Sorry guys, I was not preparated.
That's fine. Given that it may or may not have an effect, Casadius, is there anything you would like to do with your turn? And we'll come back to
What
cool.
can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Let me have a quick look at my features.
Ooh.
Oh, that'll probably affect Aku though.
2 seconds, I'm still listening though.
Oh, DM question. Is Lanharath carrying anything, or is
No.
Lanharath's weapons and sort
Weapons
of
are seen to be part of his body. He's like growing branches and throwing spikes.
Okay, twat.
Damn it, my like one thing that is actually useful will probably also affect. Damn. Nope. I've got nothing. I was like, oh, I could unsettling words him and actually use that feature for once. I was like, no, because it'll give Aku a reduction to his roll, probably.
Okay. What if I...
I'm aware. Obviously, this is a slightly unique combat scenario, so I'm happy to give people time to think about it. So I would say, if like Rasha, if you know what you want to do, or like if you three basically, I'll just come to whoever's ready, and we'll go back to Zug at the top of the round. So Rasha, if you know what to do, great. Sorry, Casadius, I didn't see if you knew what to do or not. You don't know yet, or no? Okay, Rasha, if you want to go.
Yeah.
No, DM. I did think of one.
Okay, go. Sorry, go for it. Ask all then.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna cast Hold Monster on Lanharath.
Yep. That's a roll.
Oh, that's clever.
Wisdom 18, because it's not gonna affect a humanoid. Because it only affects monster.
19.
He saves the little fucking rat boy. DM reaction. How about we cast? So we do have reaction back. How about we cast Silvery Barbs? And he has disadvantage on that roll now.
Okay, Aku, you have a disadvantage on your next saving throw.
Both of them do in that case, but in this instance,
That's cool.
you have ways around that. But in this instance, yes, Lanharath would have to make that roll again at disadvantage.
18.
That is a save, and I get to choose to give advantage to another creature, and I'm going to go and give it to Aku. So
Okay, straight roll. Great.
Very good,
Cool.
very good.
Casadius, anything, or should I jump to Rasha?
We could just try punching him and seeing if like physical
Straight
damage
in the face.
does anything.
Yeah. I mean, I could. I don't want to get in the way of his fight, though. Oh wait.
Help action?
Oh, okay. Screw it. Cass is gonna look across Lanharath. And just under his breath in Infernal, you're just all going to hear, if any of you speak Infernal, he is saying the most heinous things possible. He's insulting this guy's, like, god. He's insulting this guy's mother. He's insulting everything this guy could possibly ever love. Unsettling words. He has to minus a d6 from anything he rolls. It's basically Inspiration in reverse, which is a Eloquence Bard feat.
I'll say that's deeply distracting to only Lanharath, and that's not affecting. Not a magical effect. Kind of. I was treading the line, but I'll let it affect it. Minus a d6 from the next roll that he does, not Aku.
Yeah.
Cool. Rasha.
I'm coming up with some creative spell use. I want to hold Stone Shape for Lanharath's next aggressive action. So if it's spell, block line of sight. If it's an attack, like get in the way and abjure and block. So whatever his next aggressive action is, I want a Stone Shape Geb Hand to block and shield Aku.
Okay, cool. Happy for you to hold it. Great job. Zug. Zug just holding on. Anything else you want him to do, Hannah?
Zug. You know, he's a fighter. This is very hard.
First, he's probably doing a lot of grappling right now, so...
Yeah, he's doing a lot of grappling.
It's totally fine if people aren't finding themselves super useful in this,
I'm just
relatively.
double checking if he's got anything at all.
He's like champion fighters, I think specifically are quite bad at this. If it was like one of those like maneuver or
Yeah.
disadvantage, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything else I can really.
Hayden, you've seen that the attacks from Lanharath to Aku and the attacks from Aku to Lanharath have not hurt each other in the same. They've hurt the other person, but not both of them. It's attacks from you guys seem to do it. So there's something about the attacks from each other that aren't impacting in the same way your guys' attacks are.
So Hayden's going to call out to Aku and say, Stop attacking him! What are you doing? And he's gonna run at him, and he's gonna try to grapple Aku to try to pull him away from Lanharath, to try to break up the fight.
Bruh. Okay. I'm rolling a
I think
strength
it's a contested strength check, yeah.
check.
Athletics.
This is going to be really embarrassing if I fail this.
Athletics or acrobatics from us, from Aku, and
athletics.
should be the same from. Well, it needs to be athletics from Hayden, which I fear is not better than
That's
what that
fine.
roll is.
Fear my +1.
Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with me? I rolled a 3. Okay, 13.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
fine. I rolled a 6.
So Aku,
That's
yeah,
fine.
Hayden runs at you and kind of throw him off. You, however you choose to do it, you can describe it, are not grappled by Hayden.
Hayden, what are you doing? I'm trying to. He's threatening to take my body from me. You can't stop me.
There's another way. You can't do this. Just stop. You're hurting him.
How much can we chat?
You guys
Not
can chat a little
much.
bit. That's fine.
It's not hurting me, Hayden. I can get rid of Lanharath for good. You know I've hated Lanharath for as long as I've known you.
But what happens when he's gone? You don't know that. So what happens with the unsuccessful grapple? Do I just like...
You're probably next to him, but you're not holding him. Like I can see your arms are around him and you're trying to, but
You're
straight
hugging
to
him.
him,
I mean,
and
Aku
hugging
just,
him.
Give
like-
him a hug?
Aku just pushes him off. Like it's not a very successful attempt. He just shoves him off it.
Cool. Hayden probably stumbles back. Maybe trips over something, falls down. That's the end of my turn.
Okay, that's fine. You can have your chat. That's the kind of thing. As fighting, all the statues around, any heads that remain, their eyes flash amber around the arena. And all of you feel as kind of roots and vines kind of come up and try to grab you. As Lanharath says, vines entangle the corrupt. No kidding. Vines entangle. Yeah, as a wild joke.
Secret vines.
Could you all make as a lair action? Could you all make dexterity saving throws? Everyone.
But I'm slow.
Lair action. Does a 15 pass, Jamie?
15 does pass.
Oh, good.
Is it 14 pass?
What's
Yes.
this? Is a deck save?
Yeah.
This 13 is what you're looking for, which
Is it a
I guess
dex
most of you might
save,
pass.
did you
Yes,
say?
yeah.
30-20.
22.
It's a good old 16.
and- Sorry, let me pull up Zug again. I imagine he's gonna get stuck, but you never know.
DM, are those vines just coming up like around the floor, or are they like, can they reach up quite high?
They're
Zug
trying
got
to
a
grab your
12.
arms, like jump back, and they kind of are trying to grip you.
And they've
So I got
come
a
from
12.
the-
Zug, you see Zug
Zug got a 12.
has been gripped and pulled, and is pulled away from Lanharath and is encased in these vines.
Wait, lucky! I'm gonna use his lucky
Yeah, go
feat.
for it, go
Oh,
for
hell
it.
yeah.
Never leave me alone with feats. I have too much of a good time. Let's use lucky. Let's go. That's a 22, baby.
22, yeah, absolutely. And Zog gets encased in these vines, and you see as he kind of jumps back out and jumps on Lanharath. Still grappling him. Cool. It's Lanharath's turn. You see him hold onto the spear, and you can see as his hand begins to glow, and energy shoots back down the spear towards Aku. This is a spell. Ascor has used his reaction. Anybody else want to do anything?
I can. Well, my reaction is triggered. No, the stone shape like shoves them off. Aggressive action, blocking.
Yes.
Touch?
Block line of sight. What are you trying to? So stone shape. The shape stone comes between them.
Yeah, so it looks like a touch spell, right?
Okay, it's flame strike.
Oh, flame strike.
I'm just flavoring it.
Oh, okay.
So in a location you specify. So
Okay, so that probably wasn't doing anything. All right, fine, but it's still triggered, so it happens.
still triggers. Yeah, it happens. Was it? And a vertical column, fire roars around where the spear's connecting as the stone breaks apart, and you see the spear kind of rip back away. There's now a stone wall between you two. However, I need Hayden, Aku, probably just Hayden and Aku based on where it's going to be. Yeah, Hayden and Aku to make a dexterity saving throw.
Cool. That is a natural 20 for a total of 30.
Okay, you succeed, and you can use evasion if you want to take basically no damage.
Cool. I have to use evasion
2,
for sure.
4, and 8.
8. Aku, you take 32 points of fire and radiant damage as your spear, as you continue back, the energy keeps going, and from your center of your chest erupts a storm of fire and light around you that encases both you and Hayden. You manage to duck away thing, and you look back and you see Aku standing there, and as kind of the flames die down, you see him like burnt, charred, smoking, and this stone pillar now between him and Lanharath and Zug standing there.
Like a 5-foot sort of thing, so like the heads would be above it. It's like a geb hand, so if he wants to attack around it, it's like maneuverable.
Cool. That's the end of Lanharath's go. Aku, you're up.
Yeah, man. Gonna do my thing. But on fire.
But metal.
Oh my god! What the
What did you just roll?
Yes.
natural 20?
Yes.
Smite him.
Yes.
Smite him.
Yes.
Smite.
Someone has rigged this roll 20, dude. Like, what the hell?
First rule of Smite Club.
Alright,
The dice know, and I hate it. And I'm very annoyed.
I love this.
The dice gods know when it's time to smite, and it is time to smite.
This is prime smite time.
Counter spell.
The spirit of
No.
campaign 1 lives strong. No.
Are you actually counterspelling?
No, he doesn't have counters.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, technically, it's smiting a
Yeah, you
spell
drink it,
because it's
exactly.
like a paladin ability. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily a spell.
Right.
True, you're using a spell
Rude.
slot, and it's a class feature.
No, Divine Smite is a spell. It's the
Is
second.
it?
I might be lying. I
You
might
sacrifice
be
a spell slot, but it's a paladin specific ability. It's not
Right.
actually a spell.
It's okay, DM. Just drink your prosecco. It's
There
okay.
are, there are
no,
smite
no,
spells.
Hannah, you're tying into a very old argument between me and Clued that I've conceded Clued wins, which means you also win this argument. So come on.
High five.
This is when Clued used, what was it, Hurtle Through Hell to send a Tarask through hell, because she's like, it's a class feature, it's not a spell. What you mean?
Rash to Tarask to Bane's Hall.
Okay, how much damage do I take? 4, 8, so 17.
I'm working it out. Plus. Okay. So 53 points of damage. Yeah, 53 points of damage in total.
Okay. As the fire erupts, Hayden, you're pushed back and you look and you think, oh my god, where's Aku? And as you see Lanharath smile, not thinking that he's won, but kind of he's struck back, leaping from the smoke and flames. Aku with the spear completely catches Lanharath by surprise, and it delves in just between the collarbone and the neck, which is a pretty mortal wound on most creatures. And as Aku kind of lands, you see Lanharath get pushed back into Zug's arms, and they're like between that, and then it pushes it further in, and you can almost feel, you can hear a tink as the back of the spear hits Zug's armor, and then the tip of the spear erupts with radiant damage, and you see Aku is thrown back to the other side of the stone shape, holds out his hand, the spear falls back and right back, and as the smoke clears, you see Lanharath still standing, but with a massive hole, like most of his shoulder here, his arm hanging, and this all just smoldering in charcoal, and barely like his arm barely hanging on. He's kind of like holding from one side, and you can see him breathing heavily. Ow.
Oh my
And
God.
Aku, your
Gonna
next attack, I suppose.
Nice.
Ooh.
I'm also aware of the time.
I hate that phrase.
I know.
Aware of the time means that the fun is stopping.
That's an 18 to hit.
18. 18 hits because he hasn't got Shield of Faith. So yeah.
Okay. It's a 18 damage.
18 damage, yeah, okay. And as he's kind of like reeling, like this time you see him move, react as if to block it with the arm that's hanging, and this time there's no force there, and you kind of skewer him again, kind of pushing him back and kind of cut. You see like cutting down there, and there's like the various it's not quite blood, but like light is kind of leaking from various places, and you kind of see him choke a little bit, and he looks up at you on the end of your spear, and you can't help but feel incredibly satisfied.
Yes.
Ascor.
Ascor is gonna look helplessly, racking his empowered brain, his difficult mind, on what to do and what he can add to the fray. And his eyes light up with something, and then they go dim again. No, it's not gonna work. Yeah, maybe this. No, what can I do? And one thing he does decide on is he casts Intellect Fortress on. Let's go for just Aku. That's 3rd level, isn't it? Just Aku as a quicken spell. So that's my bonus action. And then as my action, I'm gonna cast. What's the name of this one here, mate? Let's go for. Better than nothing. Let's cast Tasha's Mind Whip on Lanharath. So you see Aku's eyes glow blue for a second as his mind becomes shielded. So Aku, you gain advantage.
As does Lanharath.
See.
Yes. That's fine. It's done now. Just continue. We'll see what happens.
As the source of the magic, would I sense that I've given that to Lanharath as well?
You'll see it. Yeah.
Cool. In that case, Ascor's just gonna let out a cry of frustration as he notices that's what's gone down. Let me mark that spell slot off like a fucking idiot. And then I'm just gonna Ascor thinks and just settles on fucking kick his head in. On the sidelines.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. Cassadius.
He's just gonna keep with the muttering, keep with the insults. He's gonna go for another unsettling words. Just gonna try and knock this guy from being able to actually do much damage to Aku.
D6 from the next one. Got it.
Yep.
Something else. Russia.
I would like to use. I mean, it's a help action. Wait, no, Akor it has advantage, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In which case, I would like to use my brain. So essentially, Hayden has been talking about whether or not it's safe to separate Aku and Lanharath. With everything that we know and that we've just learned about the difference in the way they're related, does Rasha, with his 20 wisdom big brain, have concerns, or does he feel
Make
like this
a
is
wisdom
actually...
roll. Make a
Yeah.
wisdom roll.
Okay.
DM, I choose to drop the spell, by the way, of Intellect Fortress.
That's pretty good. Wisdom, right? Straight wisdom. That's 19.
I'll DM you. You're just fine.
I mean, I'm going to act on it immediately.
Yeah, you very much are. You've heard, and I think what you look at Hayden is what you want is that Lanharath and everybody understands the bond between Corey and Kalashtar. If it breaks, Kaifon comes in.
Yeah.
Potentially the Kalashtar dies as well a few
Yeah.
times. That's what Hayden must be acting on, and everybody else. This isn't a Corey bond. You don't know what breaking it does, but this can't be assumed to be that. You perhaps assume that this wasn't the original promise anyway. Lanharath was supposed to be bonded or protecting the mother, This is some perversion. This is wrong. You don't know what happens if it breaks. But if Hayden is working on the assumption it's death because it's a quarry spirit, that's not a correct assumption.
Yeah, in which case Aku, oh my god, everyone is Aku. We are all Aku now. Rasha, I've got too many characters, guys, I can't keep track. Rasha is going to call out and say, and kind of encourage Aku and be like, whatever your bond is, it is not Kori and Kalashtar as traditional. It is alternate. It's Lanharath, what your mother has done. It is different somehow. We don't know what will happen, but if it's worth the price of your freedom, then do it. Because, let me tell you, Aku, having agency is the single best feeling in the world. And, yeah.
Yeah. I will say Zug is just continuing grappling. Nothing's hit him yet, so he's good. I don't think there's anything else, Hannah.
No.
Okay, cool. Hayden.
Hayden's gonna try to grapple Aku again, and still same thing. Like, stop! We need to find out more first. We can't do this. And that is a no way.
Natural 20.
Natural 20 on the grapple.
Okay.
But Aku still can.
What am I
counter that.
rolling?
Aku, yeah,
What
Aku
am I
can beat
rolling
that.
for
You
this?
need to roll a athletics.
You have Bless as well.
Athletics. Okay.
I didn't think my grapple was gonna work.
Ooh, okay, wait. 19 plus bless, which is.
Oh.
21.
No! 21.
But I feel like. But doesn't natural 20 beat every roll, though?
No, so that's natural 20s are really only a crit. You can't actually crit ability checks. So could you both re-roll?
Well, hold on. I think Aku's base strength is higher than mine, so I'm happy to concede this because I think naturally, even if Hayden's at the top of his strength.
That bears out in the fact that Aku is a +10 and a +1. So if you re-roll, Aku's probably going to win.
Okay.
Can you re-roll?
Okay. 15.
Pretty good. Anyway.
Oh.
Like.
No.
It's a bad roll, isn't it?
Are you kidding me? Bless.
Natural one.
Roll the Bless. Maybe you get a 4. Maybe you get a
Roll the
4.
bless. Yeah, roll the bless. Roll the bless.
Roll the blast.
Okay, so it's 15 versus
Bless,
11
bless,
plus
bless.
bless.
Oh!
It's a 4.
Holy shit! So we've tied at 15 and 15 again.
Re-roll.
Whoa, hold on.
I don't know how to
Let's
settle
roll
this.
again.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
Reaction, silvery barbs, disadvantage. No, wait, no, fuck that.
No, roll again. Fuck me. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I rolled a 3.
Okay, that's more like it.
There's actually no way that Aku can lose this now. So.
Hayden, you hold on. Grab Aku. You try to pin his arms down. Every fiber of your being is stretching, and it is somehow, despite in the middle of the battle, as he lands back, you feel his muscles, you feel his body. It is charred. It is like you feel the tension. You can feel the sweat. You're that close, and everything you want is scared and desperately trying to stop him doing what you think is about to hurt him. And despite everything, you feel yourself as you are pushed back eventually. Aku's muscles pushing you off, and you fall to the floor behind him and watch as whatever unfolds is about to unfold.
And as Hayden's grabbing onto Aku and trying to struggle with him and trying to get him to stop doing this, he says to him, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I lose you. And then he falls to the ground as he gets shoved off.
Okay. It's Lanharath's
That made
turn.
me sad.
It's Lanharath's turn. Lanharath is going to. Where's my stat block? Apologies. You see him slump over, and he knows he's losing. So instead, he turns to Hayden. Hayden, could you make a charisma saving throw for me?
Oh no.
This tree needs to stop.
Okay. I rolled an 18, but also I'm next to Aku, so
Yeah.
would
You
I get a
get-
plus?
Assuming
plus,
Aku thinks
plus
you're
5 now, boys. Plus 5.
5.
Wow.
Would Aku be giving me his bonus right now, or is he a bit like, what the fuck? What the fuck,
He's
boys?
I mean, do you get
when
a bonus?
he's pushed you off, like it's been rough, but he clearly hasn't got the intent to hurt you.
Yeah.
So I think under that assumption, you will probably get his bonus.
Okay. So that is a 23 on charisma save. That's very lucky for me because I've only got a +1 to charisma saves.
It's modify. You feel a compulsion in your head to walk away and never come back. To whenever you see Aku walk in a different direction and never return. And yet, as you gaze up, despite everything, despite where you are right now, the force of both you and being in Aku's presence, the force of everything that's happening right now, push you through this. And Aku, you look down, and for a moment you see Hayden's form shimmer as if about to disintegrate in front of you. And you look back. And it's fine. Hayden's just laying there. And you hear Lanharath curse. First time you've ever heard him do so. And you just turn back, wielding your spear, and it's your go, Aku.
Swear in front of the Lord, Lanharath. Fuck.
He just tried to like.
It's a Gias spell, but
He just tried to
it's like
home wreck.
version.
He just tried to like code Gias, kill all Britannians. Like,
I mean, that'd be some juicy. That's a juicy fanfiction waiting
Oh,
to be
man.
written.
the
Cool.
Gias happens.
Give me that
Aku,
angst.
it's your turn.
This
Advantage.
27 to hit.
27 hits.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, let's get
Right.
another nat 20. Oh man.
18 points of damage, and on my second attack, that is a 24 to hit,
24 hits.
and that, oh, not 99, 21
21.
points of damage.
Okay. So, to be fair, preparing a stat block for a potential one-on-one fight where somebody does over 100 points of damage with smites is difficult. So, as Lanharath curses, and you see Aku, you turn to him, and there's defeat in his eyes. He knows he can't beat him, and that was his final desperate attempt to hurt you. And you know that this is going to connect. As Zug is still wrestling with him, holding his arms back, his chest is bare, you feel his rodent, there's a green kind of center that is almost a weak point. And this time, your first attack is just to almost stick it in. You bury your spear about a couple of inches into where you presume his heart would be. And the next one is to push it all the way in. And you twist. And as you twist, you see a crack kind of go up the center of his body and go down. And he begins to split around the center as if it's just a wood you've used to split in the forests. And the rest of you see this, and there's an almighty crack. And you see Lanharath's face go up, and as the two halves begin to fall away, light begins shimmering out from his eyes, his mouth, and from the tips of his hands into the ground. And you see the statues around you begin to almost come alive, but like the eyes that came up when they before are light again, and the energy's flowing into them. And as Lanharath's body begins to disintegrate on the winds, one final message. Aku, only you hear this. He says, always were, still will always be, an ungrateful, corrigible, useless baby left the altar of your betters. And Lanharath's body disintegrates around, and all of you take a sigh, and you look at Aku, and Aku drops to his knees. Aku, for the first time, there's no little nagging feeling, there's nothing pointing you in a different direction. You've never experienced this for your entire life, to not have an uncluttered head. And you worry, you look round at Hayden, you look round at Rasha, you look round at everybody, worried that you're about to go unconscious and you're never going to wake up. But everybody else you see is at the center of Aku's chest, there's a small flame. And Aku, you don't notice as you're looking around, waiting for death, waiting for whatever's about to happen. There's a small flame that turns into a tiny little sprite that seems to begin dancing around Aku's center, his chest. And we'll pick up on whatever that is, another time, and wherever we are next session.
Is that a little baby Corey spirit?
Oh my god.
Thank you very much for Luke and Hannah for staying ever so slightly. I appreciate it. And there was a bit dramatic there. I think breaking the combat up might have been there. I appreciate Hannah. You're going to be up really early in the morning, so thank you very much
Oh my
for if you want to run off.
goodness.
But thank you very much. And that's what 2 smites can do to a combat, I guess. It's probably a
Yeah.
good thing, honestly.
Did you see how many natural ones I rolled
Mm.
to get those 2 natty 20s?
You
What
only
the
have 2
heck?
rolls, Sai, which is 20 or 1. Like anything else in between
Yeah.
is
Oh
common.
my god. That was nuts.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
On it.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome back, Luke. So,
Welcome back.
Eski will be here. Wonderful thing. And we'll catch you all soon.
Yeah.
Next time to see whatever the hell's
Bye.
happening
Thank
and
you.
the fallout of this. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks everyone for joining. Make sure you come check out our Discord channel if you like this and want to hang out next time. If you're not already in there. Okay, love you. Bye.
Goodbye.